participate in the mythic arena battle. When I chose war god Xingtian to face Athena, I was mercilessly criticized online. People kept accusing me, saying I had a Lang Shen and Genuwu Dadi, yet insisted on picking a headless monster to rank up. Facing these accusations, I still resolutely chose war god Xingtian, respected ancient old god of the mortal realm. Please hear our call and awaken. I said these childish lines while forming hand seals. This is instructed by the God Codex. Old gods can't just be summoned at will. They must be awakened, because in the mythic world, old gods are all legends. In the mythic world, Changyang Mountain, a massive mountain-sized headless corpse stood tall. He had been dormant for tens of thousands of years.
As if struck by a pillar of light,
He suddenly ended his long slumber. When he finally awoke, under the endless yellow sand, no other living creature remained. Who dares disturb me? Xingtian's voice echoed throughout the land. No one responded for a long time. I was the one stunned by that overwhelming voice. I paused for a few seconds before speaking solemnly. Great Xingtian, I humbly dare to beg you to fight for China. Xingtian was stunned for a moment, seemed not to understand what China was. Only then did I realize. In Xingtian's era, the concept of China hadn't been born yet. I had to phrase it differently. Originally, I wanted to call myself a descendant of Wan and Wang, but then had a sudden realization and held back just in time. Calling myself a descendant of Wan and Wang before Xingtian. That's basically begging for death. Not to mention, in the mythic world setting, who exactly beheaded Xingtian? If Xingtian exists, the Yellow Emperor must exist too. For the first time I felt that this identity filled with pride was so hard to mention. Primordial great deity. Since your slumber, the 9 provinces have multiplied endlessly. In my generation, civilization has reached great heights. But one thing remains unchanged. Humans can never overcome gods, so we need the help of the gods. My explanation was clear, but Xingtian scoffed after hearing it. You say humans can't defeat gods. Child, I suspect you're mocking me. Xingtian spoke a bit displeased, but overall, Xingtian wasn't as violent as I thought. Didn't start swinging his axe right away. Didn't chop at everyone he met. If he's willing to talk, that makes things a lot easier. So I explained immediately. I wouldn't dare. You are my ancestor. My respect for you is as vast as the Yangtze River. Endless and unbroken. How could I ever slander you? Xingtian chuckled. I thought you wouldn't dare. How many years has it been? Thousands, maybe tens of thousands of years. Beneath this Changyang mountain, I've been a headless corpse, undying and unaging, never seeing daylight. All thanks to that traitor. I, Xingtian, was once a primordial savior god, yet was beheaded by the weak humans you spoke of. Though I hate to admit it, humans were never truly weak. The moment the Zhuanyuan sword severed my head, I couldn't believe humans could be so strong. It wasn't just me. Even Qi Yu, the great war god, was defeated in the end. After Xingtian awoke from his slumber, these memories felt ancient, and yet oddly close. Since losing his head, he felt lost, had lost all sense of time. For him, ages were only the difference between sleeping and waking. No one ever missed me before, kid. You're the first to awaken me. Speak your wish. Maybe I can grant it. But if you want me to eliminate some god for you, that I can't do, because I cannot leave this Changyang mountain. I was pretty shocked by how agreeable he was at first. Is Xingtian always this reasonable? But then hearing he couldn't leave, it felt a bit sad. Is there something you can't tell, senior? I tried to ask. Xingtian's headless body trembled. Luckily, there were worlds between us. Otherwise, just hearing his voice would have made me a bloody mist. The world knows I am a god of war, born to fight, and destined to die in battle. But nobody knows since my birth. I carry immortality as a curse. As you see, even if my limbs are severed, I, Xingtian, still exist forever. But Xingtian suddenly asked, do you know why I ended up this way? I nodded. Xingtian seemed a bit surprised. You know who cut off my head? I took a deep breath and finally answered, the ancestor of humanity. The Yellow Emperor. The ancestor of humanity. So you are his descendant. That's how later generations call him. I thought to myself, this is bad. I shouldn't be praising the Yellow Emperor in front of Xingtian. Unexpectedly, Xingtian's next reaction wasn't anger, but rather heartfelt. In my life, I, Xingtian, admired only two. To be precise, one person and one god. My mind raced. Knowing this was my chance to answer. The god you mean must be Qi Yu, the war master. The other is the Yellow Emperor. Xingtian laughed when he heard this. Seems you really do know a lot. I'm curious. How do people talk about Ji Zhuanyuan today? And about the war master? And about me? I fell silent. As for how later generations see it, in this current time and space, no one even remembers this part of history. As for my previous world, Qi Yu caused chaos among mortals. Then the Yellow Emperor put him down swiftly. Xingtian gave his all. It truly matches the saying, history is written by the victors. Xingtian seemed to sense something and laughed, so everyone forgot. It's fine if they did. To the world, I'm only a failure, never a true god. Standing so long. For the first time, Xingtian sat down. Even the earth trembled at this. Then, I finally understood Xingtian's secret pain. Where his head is, he must stay. His head was buried. So he could only slumber here, unless someone could find and reunite his head. Don't force yourself, child. It's impossible for someone of your strength. If I'm not wrong, you are now literally in a different time and world, which makes it even harder. And where my head is buried, there's an imperial prohibition. Even if you could dig it up, it would be going against your ancestors. That's a grave offense. I was sent into utter confusion. Entering the mythic world isn't difficult. Worst case, I'll ask the war god again. But this headless Xingtian issue is an eternal dilemma. Even among the old gods, not all of them could help him reunite with his head. I'm just a weak human. Is it really possible? But obviously, I have no better choice. Ancestor, please wait a moment. I'll come help you connect now. What does the summoner want now? Are we entering the mythical world again? I left the god platform, walked straight toward the center of the arena. Valkyrie, madam. Looks like I'll have to awkwardly speak up again. Brunhilde refused on the spot. Sorry, Mr. Su has already made an exception for you, allowing you to enter the mythical world once. There won't be a second time. I wanted to say more. Summoner Zoe and Sheila quickly piled on. Dragonland's summoner. You think the mythical arena belongs to your family? You going whenever you want? Is your god afraid? Refusing to descend. You need to do some persuasion work. I turned left and right toward Brunhilde. Referee, sir. He's repeatedly breaking the rules. I propose if their god hasn't entered within 5 minutes, the match should be declared a total loss for Waxia. Total defeat for Waxia. But before Valkyrie responded, I replied instead, fine, no problem. Within 5 minutes. If I can't invite Xingshan. Dragonland is willing to concede. My words shocked everyone. People from China must be crazy. Who are you to speak for us? Do you know the consequences of forfeiting? I don't agree. Better change the player while there's still a chance. Quickly pick the Zhenwu Emperor instead. Alang Shen would work too. The whole internet is outraged by my arrogance. Dragonland has won 4 matches in a row. That's equivalent to winning 1 minor round. They earn a chance to reselect the god. The Ming team can also re-roll the god list. There's no need to stubbornly insist on Xingshen. But I don't want to reselect, or save this chance for later. The reason I agreed to Zoe's request was to exchange for a chance to enter the mythical world. Sheila promised to give him an opportunity. If by any chance I really can't bring the god, Dragonland loses directly. It actually saves a lot of trouble. Since both sides agree, Brunhilde spoke. You only have 5 minutes this time. No matter whether a god descends in 5 minutes, you'll be summoned back anyway. Thank you. I jumped onto the arena in 1 step. With Valkyrie's help, crossed the Heaven's Gate again. Luckily, I wasn't struck by lightning this time. Seriously, officer? Just 1 lightning strike gives you permanent access? Mythical world, Changying Mountain. The last time I entered the mythical world was in the treasure-rich Chang'an city. What I see now is like a prehistoric tribe. A desolate land left after human migration. Changyang Mountain has nothing but endless yellow earth. There's nothing else here. Su Ming greets Lord Xingshan. I respectfully stood at the foot of the mountain, looking up at the headless giant before me. Xingshan just moved his body and caused the ground to shake. You're really tiny. Are all humans this small in this era? I was speechless. Size doesn't matter. Let's connect first. Xingshan seemed a bit disdainful. It's not that I look down on you. You're just too small. My skull could hold a whole lake. How could you possibly lift it? I glanced over. Actually, Xingshan's head isn't far away. It's deeply buried 10 meters underground. The Emperor's ban above is clearly visible, especially the overwhelming sword aura. Aside from the Emperor's Zhuanyuan sword, no other sword's aura can last 10,000 years. Don't get too close, or you'll be hurt by the Zhuanyuan sword's aura. Xingshan warned me. A look of fear appeared on his face. I tried throwing a stone into the forbidden zone. It was instantly shattered by sword energy, let alone a stone. Even ancient magical scriptures wouldn't survive. Xingshan sighed softly. Come keep me company for a while. I can't see the outside world, so I'd like to hear what you have to say. I felt emotional. I never expected the legendary immortal war god to end up so lonely. Master Xingshan, I can't lift your skull, but if I can break the seal above, can you reconnect your head? I asked seriously. Xingshan laughed heartily. You're too naive. That seal left by the Zhuanyuan clan is 10,000 times harder than lifting my head. If it weren't for the Zhuanyuan sword array, Xingshan would have reconnected his head long ago. No need to endure 10,000 years of suffering. But I think breaking the seal is much easier than lifting the skull. Time is running out. I can't afford to test my theory. I suddenly leapt forward, took a deep breath and jumped down. White light instantly flashed in the forbidden zone, covering my whole body. Xingshan hardly shouted. His giant form stood up instantly, trying to stop my dangerous actions. Don't. As his massive hand approached. It was wrapped by tens of thousands of golden rays, and forced away thousands of meters. Child, why are you doing this? Xingshan blamed himself. But he didn't notice inside the Zhuanyuan sword array, a streak of starlight was rising, accompanied by a thunderous sword strike. A brilliant sword soul shot up from the ground. Zhuanyuan sword. Feeling that ruler's aura, Xingshan trembled uncontrollably. He then immediately flew into a rage.
In a daze, he saw a shadow.
It was the figure from Xingshan's memories. The battle between Zhuanyuan and Xingshan from 10,000 years ago still isn't over. Come and face your death. The giant hand struck again. But this time, no Zhuanyuan sword aura came out. Instead, a voice called Xingshan back to sanity. Lord Xingshan, it's me. Xingshan's energy became more stable. Little kid, it's impossible you survived. How could you break the Zhuanyuan sword array? Unless you're really Ji Zhuanyuan. Xingshan himself. That thought was terrifying. Because there's another possibility. That is Ji Zhuanyuan's reincarnation. But as the head of the 5 emperors among the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, Ji Zhuanyuan is already immortal. How could he reincarnate? Xingshan's feelings toward me suddenly got complicated. When the golden light faded, I appeared before Xingshan again, holding something in my hand. A fragment of the Zhuanyuan sword. Xingshan was shocked. You can already resist the Zhuanyuan sword's aura. Not only that, the divine aura on the fragment is gone too. It's become an ordinary shard now. Since ancient times, all divine swords recognize their master, especially Zhuanyuan's sword. If you forcibly subdue it, Zhuanyuan's sword will destroy itself and turn into dust. At this moment, Xingshan began looking at me with caution. Lord Xingshan, I don't have much time left. I'll explain everything to you later. I put away the fragments of the Zhuanyuan sword. I started to have a vague idea about why I wasn't affected by the sword formation. But right now, the most important thing is to return Xingshan's head. Alright, fine. This must be fate. Then I'll go with you for now. Xingshan walked slowly. His massive body seemed to block out the sun. I held my breath. The great god Xingshan, back at the dawn of prehistory, was beheaded by the Yellow Emperor Zhuanyuan at Mount Changyong, and became one of the most legendary tales in Chinese mythology. Now I am witnessing a mythical miracle. But the head is still severed. How will it be reattached? Just as I thought Xingshan was going to dig out his head with his own hands, thunder roared across the sky. Dark clouds were rolling. Xingshan raised his hand to the sky. and a majestic heavenly sound descended, as if from the ruler of the world. He uttered just 2 words. Come here. That gigantic head, buried 100 feet underground, actually broke through layers of earth accumulated over millennia, and shot up from underground with a thunderous blast. What an impressive head! It was a head gleaming with golden light, sealed away for tens of thousands of years, yet untouched by dust. It was still filled with a murderous aura, until the head opened its eyes. In an instant, the entire sky and earth trembled. Although nothing lives on Mount Changyang, there are still many ancient gods lingering in these lands, including Gonggong, the great god under Mount Zhuo Renshi, and the god of fire. All sensed the anomaly at Mount Changyang. When the head was finally returned to Xingshen's body, he exhaled a long murky breath, concealing the aura of this world. What fresh air! So this is what it feels like to have a head. Xingshen gazed up at the sky, exuding an overwhelming sense of dominance. How long has it been since I've seen the world with my own eyes? But I was shocked by how handsome Xingshen was. It was a face both stern and resolute, way more attractive than expected. All along, I'd always pictured Xingshen as a very rough-looking figure. After getting used to his head, Xingshen spoke up. Let's go. If we don't leave now, we might not get another chance. Dramatic storm clouds surged on the other side of the sky. As countless powerful divine minds approached, Xingshen shouted angrily on the spot. Don't rush. Let me repay my debt first. Then I'll come back to fight this world again. Wherever the war god Xingshen and his axe passed, the sky was obliterated and vanished in just a second look. The summoner is back. Holy crap. I was scared to death. I was worried I wouldn't make it in time. If even the summoner can't come back, then we're really doomed. As long as the summoner returns in time, there's still hope to negotiate. Brynhilder asked, Summoner from the Dragon Kingdom. Your god. I looked confident and glanced at Zoe. Our great god Xingshen would never lower himself to wait for a Western god. Zoe didn't argue either. Oh, so you've managed to summon him? Alright, let's summon our gods then. The outcome will be the same anyway. Under Brynhilder's emphatic command, both sides began the ceremony. Zoe was first to offer the divine hymn, chanting devoutly, O great goddess worshipped by billions, please let your holy light shine upon this land. A pillar of holy light beamed down from beyond the heavens. Almost instantly, that pillar crashed onto the arena, as if bringing light to this world. All the little Greeks cheered together, because their most revered goddess had arrived. Gotta admit, Athena really is beautiful. She embodies the beauty of both Eastern and Western women, and the unique holiness of a deity. Even though she's the goddess of war, she makes you feel like you've left all wars behind. In the arena, Athena didn't deliberately stay high and aloof. Instead, she tried to convey friendliness to everyone. But without a doubt, war is cruel, and so are gods. Eastern deities, I don't want war. I wish the East-West enmity could have been resolved. But at this point, no matter how hard we try, it won't work. So let's fight. No one thought Athena was being weak. On the contrary, this was compassion, an act of mercy. I cut to the chase. It's up to you, great Xingshen. From the Dragon Kingdom's gate of heaven, a surge of primordial energy instantly burst out. The terrifying part was, as it descended onto the arena, that intimidating force even affected the skies over the Dragon Kingdom, plunging the sky into a primal state, with a wild and deadly aura. Everyone was silent with fear. After all, this war god doesn't exactly have a good reputation in the ancient texts. Hopefully, he doesn't lose control and attack the people of the Dragon Kingdom too. Countless people waited longingly, hoping to see the headless war god again. That's the war god Xingshen. So massive, so impressive. Everyone thought Xingshen would be a headless monster. But what appeared was a giant who was explosively handsome. When Xingshen strode onto the arena, his body towered 1,000 meters tall. Looking at Athena, if she wasn't glowing, you wouldn't see her at all. Xingshen didn't like to underestimate his opponents, but he was still surprised. So you're the Western goddess? That's how your summoner introduced me. Athena's beautiful eyes swept around, and her curious gaze landed on me. The goddess looked back, making my heart almost stop. But I really did nothing wrong. I didn't say a word. The goddess Athena is generous. She won't stoop to argue with me. She then turned away to size up. The giant East versus West gods, round 22. The battle officially began. Athena swung her spear, raising a curtain of light. As it shone onto her, it manifested an angel as tall as Xingshen, facing Xingshen directly. Eastern deity, I can feel intense fighting spirit from you. You and I are both gods of war. But the purpose of war is never to fight for fighting's sake. Athena wielded her shining spear, yet did not attack. But Xingshen showed no mercy, and snapped angrily. How dare you? I am a primordial deity, the war god of heaven. You have no right to lecture me. His anger was so intense it became tangible, setting the air between them ablaze. Athena, proud and easily angered, finally burst into action under Xingshen's pressure. Combat is the root of all war. Since you worship war, I'll have to slay you with my holy spear. As the goddess of victory, she would never start a fight on her own. But once she found true purpose in battle, she too would not hesitate. To end all wars with war, Xingshen moved at the same time. No one can define war, because the moment you pick up a weapon to fight, you become one of the main culprits of war. Xingshen never saw himself as a brute or an evil person, because he's fighting to defend too, fighting for the Julie tribe. I never expected both Eastern and Western war gods would actually fight for some so-called belief. You're very much like my brother. He takes pleasure in war, but his ultimate fate was defeat under the light. Athena's voice echoed in the sky, and her battle atop the pillar of light grew fiercer. Basically, it was a clash between light and shadow. Xingshen is an ancient old god, yet this little girl thinks of him as her brother. Seriously, who could put up with that? If we talk about seniority, if you call Zeus over, even he'd have to call Xingshen grandpa. Xingshen let out a deep sigh. Ignorant girl, I Xingshen, though fond of battle, I hold great respect. I've already given you the chance to show your strength. Now it's time for you to feel the might of an Eastern war god. Xingshen doesn't like to boast, but in his eyes, Athena is just a kid. Besides, he came here to return a favor, to showcase the power of Eastern gods. Isn't that exactly what I want to see? Am I right, little one? I was a bit stunned, just watching the show. Xingshen's voice came to my ear. Xingshen, the big shot. She's on par with a god king. And yet he doesn't take her seriously at all. The originally empty space, now overflowing with Xingshen's terrifying divine power, suddenly expanded like crazy, stretching out to a galactic scale. The world of mythology is bound by rules, which keep these gods inside heaven and earth. But outside the myth world, it's a different story. The arena space changes its setting based on their power. Isn't Athena a galactic warrior? This so-called galaxy is nothing but a small stream before Xingshen. Different planes. So the metrics are different.
Even Xingshen was surprised.
Facing Western gods, his divine power could be amplified 100-fold. Girl, hope you can withstand this blow. It's called Dance of Ganshi. The Dance of Ganshi is finally here. I stared straight at the stage. This ultimate skill, even in the whole ancient mythos, it's explosive. In my previous life, there were tons of movies and anime about Xingshen, but none could portray the Dance of Ganshi perfectly. At this very moment, I'm about to witness a real miracle. This is Xingshen's killer move. That axe is called the Ganshi axe. I've only heard of the heaven opening axe. And then there's the one Wu Gan uses to chop trees. Never heard of the others. Ganshi doesn't seem to be that famous. While netizens were confused, I knew clearly, Ganshi isn't just an axe. It's a combination of shield and axe. Shield as ki, axe as gan. They dance together, supposedly able to overturn the sky and reverse the sun and moon. What I can't figure out now is, why does Xingshen's Ganshi dance only have an axe, no shield? Where's the shield? At the same time, the stars in the sky were already in chaos. Athena's holy light shone brilliantly, but even she had moments of being drained. The power of the ancient god was fully displayed as Xingshen danced Ganshi. Destroyer, protector, light eternal. I am the only eternal. Beneath Athena's feet, a boundless hexagram mark appeared. Countless stars shot out from within. Only then did they offset some of the dance of Genki's power. The angel descends. A cold shout. Athena finally entered her complete combat form. The six-winged scarlet angel possessed her. Then she evolved into four-winged and 10-winged scarlet god forms. Looks like the usually gentle goddess Athena is truly enraged. For Athena to go all out for Xingchen, it could be honored as a holy war. A holy war between two war gods. Even more intense than Athena's battle with Ares. Way more violent. An all-bombardment exploded in the center of the arena. Beams of brilliant light crisscrossed. Tens of thousands of strikes in an instant. Every time Xingchen swung his axe, it was so graceful. Seemingly chaotic, but incredibly smooth. Like he's lost in his own world, admiring his own dance. No matter how Athena attacked, she couldn't affect Xingchen's movements. Honestly, he's just playing. Fighting and dancing at the same time. If that's not playing, what is? Athena gave it her all but still couldn't break his defense. Isn't that frustrating? So the dance of Ganshi is literally dancing with an axe. Well, I've really learned something new. Athena was absolutely furious and couldn't help but yell at this Eastern giant. God, are you mocking me? In Athena's eyes, Xingchen's dancing was full of disrespect. Not only was it unpleasant, but downright infuriating. To make things worse, there was an invisible barrier around his dance. Even her saint's spear couldn't pierce it. Look at those winds. Don't they look like a shield? This is incredible. He literally dances up a shield. And even Athena can't break through something that thick. Yeah, even Athena is blocked. Suddenly it hit me. The dance of Ganshi isn't actually holding a shield. He's swinging his axe to create one, forming an absolute defense. Girl, are you starting to despair? In the face of absolute defense, only the Xuanyuan divine sword can break through, Xingchen vowed. Netizens are just spectating. Is Xuanyuan from the Yellow Emperor? Damn, that's a lot to take in. The Yellow Emperor lived in Xingchen's era, and even beat Xingchen. Chinese people were stunned. Missing myths, gaps in history. Although there are records about the Yellow Emperor, they are incomplete. All we know is that before the dynasties, there was a leader among the primitive tribes, called the first cultural ancestor. Some historians also recognize the Yellow Emperor as China's founding ancestor, but history can't confirm it. So this version isn't widely accepted. So here's the problem. If Xingchen was so powerful, yet the Yellow Emperor defeated him, does that make the Yellow Emperor an even greater god? I always thought the Yellow Emperor was just a human leader. Never imagined he'd be tough enough to beat Xingchen. China really produced a lot of ancestor gods. I'm seriously so proud. The entire internet was talking about the Yellow Emperor. Maybe it was all the attention. The fragment of the Xuanyuan sword in my hand reacted, emitting a dazzling glow. When I first entered the sword formation, this fragment already recognized me by blood. The more I think, the scarier it gets. It means I have the Emperor's bloodline. Sure, we are all descendants of Wan and Wang, but it's not like we're direct descendants. So the Emperor's bloodline is a bit of a stretch. But one thing's for sure. The mythical Emperor Xuanyuan Wangdi is definitely stronger than Xingchen. As the prime example of ancient savior gods, Xingchen's power matches exactly what I expected from him. He totally dominates. Xingchen has stopped performing the Ganshi dance. Athena thinks she's found her chance. Wrapped in holy light, she's ready to take Xingchen head-on. But unexpectedly, with a casual move, Xingchen sends Athena flying. Every moment of this is just so humiliating. Even little Sheila, clueless as she is, knows they can't win. Because Athena's main offense is her light-based divine power. Other than that, she only has her physical body. Comparing raw power with Xingchen physically is like an egg hitting a rock. It's over. Plus, Xingchen doesn't hold back at all. He pummels Athena directly. Even her holy light starts showing signs of collapse. No, not my goddess. You have to get back up. Merciless destruction is the perfect way to describe Xingchen.
Athena is visibly shaken inside.
She didn't expect this Eastern deity to be so strong. Even though Hades died in the last fight, at least he wasn't completely helpless like this. Plus, before coming down here, Athena received orders from Zeus to take the head of an Eastern god as a tribute to Hades. But right now,
It looks impossible.
Athena, goddess of victory, is finally facing the hardest decision of her life. She awakens her true form. Athena's whole body suddenly freezes over. Then a layer of white shield forms around her. There's a split-second pause, and then the shield shatters. Athena shoots out thousands of miles in an instant, rushing straight at Xingchen. Xingchen sees it as a minor trick. relying completely on his physical strength.
He unleashes a primordial gate.
Oblivion. In that instant, before Athena can get close, she gets blown up by a terrifying divine force. It all happened so fast. The whole world didn't even have time to react. Athena just exploded right there. Only stardust was left behind. She's gone. Am I dreaming? The undefeated war goddess Athena, once worshipped by all, was killed in a single blow. Xingshan didn't give everyone much time to be shocked. Following a strange route, he stretches out his ancient hand and pulls a brilliant figure out of the void by force. In front of me, Xingshan, there are only fallen warriors, never fleeing enemies. So to die in battle is your only fate. War god Xingshan presses his palms together in an invincible stance, and the whole world seems to fit in his hands. As his hands close, a section of space is sealed off. Athena has nowhere to run. The pressure is intense. Damn it, what kind of monster is he? Athena bites her lip hard. She carries endless honor on her shoulders. If she loses this fight, it'll be a lifelong stain she can never erase. Athena doesn't fear death. What she fears is the collapse of her faith. No, the Eastern savior god isn't unbeatable. Athena shouts with all her might, summoning endless star clouds. Little Sheila has never seen the goddess in such a sorry state before. Her heart is dangerously tight. You're just an illusion, right? There's no way our goddess could lose. But the fact they can't get over is the moment they saw Athena trying to flee just now. Xingshan isn't shy about teaching by example. Kid, you've already earned the title of war god. You must have countless deaths on your hands. Only by experiencing death yourself are you worthy of the true war god name. For Xingshan, death is the most ordinary thing. Even I've realized this from outside the arena. No matter what god it is, as long as they stand on the battlefield of East-West divine life and death, there's only life or death left. It's a matter of sides, not beauty or gender, one way or another. Athena, the goddess, must die in this fight. There's no such thing as a saint here. I, Su-Ming, have died once. I've witnessed just how brutal Western gods can be. But did the loving goddess Athena ever show up to save anyone? Xingshan versus Athena was always going to be a one-sided fight. As Xingshan unleashes the energy in his palms, something unexpected happens. Athena lets out a furious shout and chooses radiance. That's right, it really is radiance. Hundreds of beams of golden light pour out from her body, illuminating the whole mythical arena. At the same time, several streaks of light shoot out. A total of 12 beams. That's when I remember. It's the legendary saints, the 12 gold saints, each representing one of the 12 constellations of the universe. That's also one of Athena's greatest assets. I never thought the 12 saints would be merged with Athena in such a divine way. The 12 saints land with a flash, protecting Athena inside. The gold saints look dazzling, each with their own style. But clearly, none of them are the real deal. They're just fragments of a soul. Otherwise, this mythic arena would never let Athena summon them here. After all, it's a one-on-one fight, with the appearance of the 12 saints. Even I was excited. I never expected they could fight for Athena this way. The netizens were right. These are only the astral projections of the 12 gold saints' energy, with no thoughts of their own. Only a single-minded purpose to protect. So many figures appearing at once even made Xingshan's eyes light up. I have to say, Western gods' outfits really are unique. Great Xingshan. Those are gold cloth armors. They can withstand attacks from gods themselves. You can't afford to be careless. I give Xingshan a reminder. Xingshan just shrugs it off. Gold cloths, huh? Sounds impressive. Too bad they're too small. What, you want to wear one? The 12 saints, led by Gemini Saint Saga, form a 12-star formation, trapping Xingshan inside. I can't believe how smoothly it worked. It worked. It finally worked. This star formation can even kill a god king. Once you're trapped, you can't use any divine power, and you'll be washed in starlight energy until you become a useless shell. So what if you're an ancient god? Once stripped of divine power, you're just a nobody. Little Sheila feels she's seeing the dawn of victory. Everyone cheers for Athena. You could say Athena can't match Xingshan one-on-one. But when it comes to leading a team,
Athena is the real war goddess.
who fights fair one-on-one in war? Obviously. Victory is won by teamwork. Little Sheila has a tendency to blow even the slightest chance of victory way out of proportion, thinking Athena can now finish off Xingchen. But in reality, all Athena is thinking is how long she can hold out until that other power inside her awakens. Maybe then. But before she can finish the thought, Xingchen swings his mighty arm, with his head touching the sky and feet on the ground, his giant body stretching endlessly. Supreme strength, all manifested in a primordial world. Besides being the god of war, Xingchen is also a symbol of strength. This 12 constellation array gathers the power of all 12 zodiac signs. It truly possesses the might of a god king thirsty for battle. Back then, the 108 specters led by Hades were completely annihilated within this array. So in the famous battle between Hades and Zhengzhe, the specters were nowhere to be seen. After shattering the star array with one strike, Xingchen didn't suppress Athena directly. Instead, he chuckled and said, "Little girl, your power is far too inferior to mine. There's no point in dragging this out any longer. But I still want to say one thing. From you, I see a trace of an old acquaintance." With a casual wave of his hand, a scene appeared in front of Xingchen. It was a giantess. Her whole body was crimson red. Even her hair was red, although massive in size. Her beauty was worthy of a goddess. The bystanders looked at each other in confusion. Is this their giant tribe's goddess? Such a high beauty level. Giants are usually synonymous with ugly, but both Xingchen and this woman before them completely overturned that stereotype.
Damn it.
Why do I find Eastern goddesses more captivating than our Western ones? Athena is seductive danger, but this one is pure experience. Xingchen the Great. How did the fight turn into? You tossing out a goddess? Are they a couple or something? But except for Xingchen, no one present knows the identity of this goddess except for me. If my guess is right, she should be Su Ming, the ancestor of zombies. Who would have thought that? The origin of all zombies is not a monstrous face, but instead unexpectedly beautiful. How is this even a Zhang ancestor? She's obviously my goddess. The moment they saw Nuwa, the DNA of the Chinese people stirred within them. They've seen fairies in Chinese myths, but not the original era's gods.
Especially ancient goddess types.
Maybe that height was standard in those times. Xingchen is that tall. Nuwa is that tall. I bet the emperor was too. So long, long ago, our Chinese ancestors were all giants. Xingchen seems a bit sorrowful. There must be a story here. Grab your popcorn, everyone. I'm tired of hearing about the cowherd and the weaver girl. I want to hear about Xingchen and the female zombie story. Thanks to Su Ming's shared info, everyone online now knows the female zombie's identity. No one expected such an amazing goddess would be the ancestor of all zombies. That's just wild. Trivia time. Who are the 4 great zombie ancestors? That's it. It's over. Stop arguing. Xingchen the Great suddenly got emo. Could he have fallen for Athena? In the arena, the 12 saints can only defend passively. It's hard to believe there could even be such a terrifying being. This sense of oppression, I've only felt it from Zeus. Athena shrouded herself in holy light, trying to look less defeated.
Taking advantage of Xingchen's moment of sadness.
She frantically starts breaking her internal seals. Faster! Faster! Her divine power surged endlessly within her, rushing through all her limbs and bones. Athena's aura soared as a result. But Xingchen smiled and said, "No rush. I'll give you all the time you need. Unleash your ultimate power, so you can live up to your title as the god of war of the West." What are all the viewers supposed to say to Xingchen? So cocky? That's what true confidence in your own strength looks like. Zayla has already lost all hope. Ancient Chinese gods are truly terrifying. There must be another way. A goddess is the pride of the divine world. If anything happens to her, even my own faith would collapse. Just then, Athena's eyes suddenly flashed gold. Her passive look turned to composure. She finally cracked a smile. "Sorry to keep you waiting. Forgive me for devoting my life to war and standing with all living things. I'm not well versed in matters of love, but our battle can go on now." Though Athena acts like she doesn't care, deep down she is amazed by how gorgeous this Eastern goddess is. I heard there's a phrase in the East fairy couples. I'm guessing this is it. Woohoo, the goddess is back on her feet. Seems like she's become even stronger. Unfortunately, Athena is a goddess without feelings. But even if she did have feelings, so what? Hey, the Greeks have found their confidence again in Athena's confident smile. They regained their confidence. No one knows what Athena did. All they know is the real fight is just getting started. Xingxin's gaze sharpened. Myths are missing in this world. That emperor is still recognized. But there's no record of a female zombie with Xingxin. So Xingxin let the Chinese people witness the might of the female zombie. Regarding her, she's a memory buried deep in Xingxin's heart. And also an eternal regret for Xingxin. Because of this regret, he'll have to look for the emperor again one day. Kid, you woke me up. But that's gonna bring you serious consequences. I'll win this battle for you. Just take care of yourself. Xingxin's odd words left Su Ming a bit confused. Serious consequences. Did we offend some major god? If that's really the case, then it really is a big problem. The Chinese people are also pondering his words. The summoner stayed in the myth world for 5 minutes just now. What exactly happened? Can you tell us or not? Did someone threaten you? Don't be afraid. No matter who bullies you, all 1.5 billion Chinese people stand with you. Honestly, that kind of talk is pretty empty. All these people can only play the role of spectators. Completely useless. Maybe he brought some misfortune from the myth world, and it followed him into the real world. Oh man, that's terrifying. Fate is unknown. That is, he's already on the blacklist of several top investors on the red side. Everyone thought the East-West gods' battle would reach unimaginable heights. But Athena still underestimated, and Xingxin was once again suppressed. His endless primordial power was being drained like crazy, with all the stars resonating. A stellar explosion was triggered. Boom! Athena was surrounded by the light of the 12 saints, standing tall from the shattered void, looking hopefully into the starlit ruins. Did he die? The question lingered less than half a second. Xingxin walked out unharmed. He only had a burn mark on his chest, and no other injuries. Everyone around the world who witnessed this had only one reaction. Xingxin, Xingxin. What kind of monster is this?
He's barely known in Chinese myth.
There's no way he could be this strong. A god who was once decapitated, defeated by the emperor, now facing one of the 12 main gods of Greece. It's a total one-sided beatdown. There's no need for anyone from China to brag about their good life. Little Tianzhu and Ying will be utterly defeated in the wind. China, that old trickster. Just how many supreme gods are you hiding? No matter what, an emperor who can sever Xingxin's head definitely counts as one. There's no turning the tide. It's clear. The goddess Athena is simply not on the same level as him. There's absolutely no way she can win. This fight was unfair from the very beginning. Yes, it's unfair, I propose. Let's add a power level index to the mythology arena. Show the strength of each god above their heads. Otherwise, how could a first-tier god defeat a king of gods? Facing these Greek protests, it's finally time for China to deliver some savage mockery. Now you want fairness, only when it's your turn. Why didn't you bring it up in the previous 10 matches? And another thing, you're wrong. Challenging across godly ranks. You can't do it. Doesn't mean Chinese gods can't either. Our first emperor, the Monkey King, and the Sword Immortal, who among them hasn't defeated someone above their rank? But it only becomes unfair when it's your turn. That's just disgusting. The long-restrained anger of the Chinese viewers finally erupts outside the arena. No use arguing any further. Back to the center of the arena. Athena seems to sense her impending disaster, but is much more composed. Xingxin closes in step by step. That's true. This battle has been unfair from start to finish. For you to come this far, you deserve my attention. But it's only made me look at you differently. From the very beginning, I've never really considered you important. But later, in her overdrive state, Athena briefly approached the realm of a quasi-supreme god. Too bad Xingxin is just too strong. Don't worry, you've already done your best. I won't let your death be ugly. Xingxin's words sounded like the judgment of the heavens. The world went silent. Everyone in the West was on edge, as if disaster was descending. No, don't kill Athena. Stop, goddess. I've never hated a god this much. You're the first. Athena's faith covers the entire Western world. Yet right before their eyes, She's about to die at the hands of an Eastern god. But just as the hand of heaven came down, ray after ray of light slammed into Xingshen's palm. It was the 12 gold saints, led by Seiya, rushing to die in Athena's place. The Easterners never expected that such a tear-jerking moment would happen to a Western god. As Seiya and Saga charged up, without any hesitation, they were instantly crushed by the tremendous force. Athena's agonized scream echoed across the arena. "No, Seiya!" Pegasus Saint's shield left his last smile in the world. "Miss, I can't stay with you anymore." Everyone thought it was just a strand of the saint's souls. At first, that was so. But sensing Athena's imminent fall, the contract channel opened up. Seiya unhesitatingly sacrificed his divine power. If he falls on the mythology arena, his real body will also perish in the mythic world. They live and die as one. That bond shown to the extreme. Don't be sad. From the moment I made the contract, I was ready to die for my beliefs. Absolute protection for the main god is the one and only faith of a gold saint. After Seiya came Saga. Gemini Saint went first. Beams of light burst in midair, pushing Athena farther and farther away, trying to escape Xingshen's grasp. The 12 gold saints traded their lives for a sliver of hope. Bang, bang, bang. Scorpio, Capricorn, Libra, Taurus, one after another among the exploding starlight, fulfilled their duty. The mythology arena displayed the most heartbreaking scene ever. 12 guardian saints at the center. No need for much individual flair. Yet they could give up their lives without regret. At this moment, there was no boundary between nations. Only respect for loyalty. Everyone stood up to honor the 12 gold saints. What's happening? Why are my eyes getting wet? I can't believe I'm crying. I swear my allegiances are very clear. I stand with China. But I really can't take this. It's the first time a Western god has made me tear up. Xingshen fought for his side. He was right to be ruthless. If Xingshen had lost, I believe Athena would do the same. Xingshen has already given them the greatest respect. There's nothing to criticize about Xingshen. Those little Greeks who call him brutal only say so because now they're on the weaker side, so their words are just tasteless. 7 out of the 12 gold saints have fallen. Does this Eastern demon god really mean to wipe out all these heroes? Aren't you afraid of retribution? That's right, kill. 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 One day, your gods will face the same fate. But no matter how angry they get, they can't change the outcome. Athena is now in tears. You didn't have to do this. You should live for yourselves. Through tear-filled eyes, Virgo's guardian was struck down without mercy. Athena stood at the brink of despair, with no more strength to be angry. Finally, after exhausting all her divine power, the illusory blade of nothingness cut off the sacrificial passage, stopping the guardian from sending more to their deaths. Yet out of the 12 gold saints, only 3 remain. Finally, it's his turn. Give me a quick end. Athena gave up her final resistance. She fought all her life, lived with honor all her life, praised as the favorite of the heavens. The god most likely to succeed Zeus is finally about to meet her end here. With the Olympic arena at its center, the western sky looked as if it had dried up. What shined upon the earth now was only scorching sunlight, no longer true light. After Athena, there will be no more merciful goddess. The goddess Athena blessed billions under heaven, created countless achievements. She doesn't deserve this kind of ending. The Greeks angrily declare that Athena is not an evil goddess. On the contrary, she's a symbol of purity. But so what? In China, many minor deities who uphold virtue and righteousness are all deeply loved by the people. Does that mean they deserve to die? Good gods are never immune to the dangers of the arena. There's no humility in tomorrow's eyes, because bowing to the god of war is an insult to him. Little Sheila is already prepared to bid farewell to Athena. That omnipotent divine force, enough to destroy everything, was placed directly upon Athena's head. Su Ming sensed it briefly, but saw no sign of reversal. He then respectfully gazed at the goddess admired by so many. Unless something unexpected happened. But something unexpected did happen. Athena's body was instantly filled with radiant, multicolored light. In that moment of confusion, a brilliant pillar of light beamed down from beyond the gates of heaven, enveloping Athena. Yet the gates of heaven remained closed. After a quick tremor, everything was calm again. What just happened? All eyes turned to the sky. Just as they turned back, Athena's position was empty. When she was seen again, she was already bathed in the light of revelation. Tens of thousands of starbursts circled her endlessly. All they heard was Athena speak a single sentence, and it frightened everyone. Despicable Eastern dog gods. Even after feasting, you still know fear. Tigers and leopards, do you think the West has no gods left? That was not Athena's voice, nor her usual tone. Yet it was only a single sentence. But it made the arena turn dark, collapse, and warp. It's the mythic arena, after all. Among the dozens of gods that have fought here, none has ever been so terrifying. Even through the arena barrier, there was a stinging sensation in everyone's heart. Athena looked like herself, yet made everyone tremble. Westerners kept guessing at the identity of the one possessing her, but dared not jump to conclusions. But the Chinese side couldn't sit still anymore. What a terrifying feeling of oppression. Even though it's not aimed at us, it still feels suffocating. Except for him. I really can't think of any other Greek god who could do this. In fact, everyone already knew the answer, but couldn't say it aloud. Even the name was taboo. But Su Ming suddenly slammed the table. The god of gods, Zeus, is causing chaos. Everything is in chaos. Valkyrie, their god, is breaking the rules. We request to have him expelled. Su Ming suddenly became nervous, worried that Zeus would attack Xingchen. Yes, get him out quickly. This is a one-on-one battle. No god is allowed to interfere from outside. Just hearing the name Zeus felt like encountering something ominous. It's one thing to joke around normally, but when facing the real deal, they didn't even have the courage to look him in the eye. Brunhilde frowned deeply because she hadn't received instructions, which meant Order had tacitly approved this. Dragon Empire Summoner, please wait a moment. Half a second after Brunhilde summoned the Pillar of Light, she received orders and explained. Hellas did not break the rules. This is a type of rebirth technique. Only those with direct blood ties can use it. And it was implanted at birth, ignoring time and space between them. The substitute can take over the host body. So in other words, Athena has now been replaced by Zeus. Brunhilde's eyes gleamed, as if saying that's all she could reveal. You'll have to figure out the rest yourself. As everyone was stunned, they saw Athena's long hair fade away, gradually taking on the features of Zeus, god of gods. The moment Zeus appeared, nothing could compare to him. It's really the great Zeus. He looks exactly like the one in the sanctuaries. Unbelievable. Athena has turned into the mighty Zeus. Is this truly Zeus himself, or just an incarnation? People all over the world were terrified, even Westerners among them. In the face of such a controversial god who dominated the mythic world, his people felt not just reverence, but deep fear. The Chinese tried to shrug off this pressure. Zeus, so what? He's the West's supreme god. Nothing to do with us in the East, not our concern. Thinking this way made them feel much better. Yet the shadow remained. Is he the real Zeus? No, probably not the real one. Everything felt unreal. Even Su Ming couldn't be sure if this was the real deal. It's over. I hope this is just an avatar, with only 1/10 the power of the true Zeus. Otherwise, I can't think of anyone who can stop him. The Chinese felt this was bad news. This is the Lord of the Cosmos who founded Greek mythology. Gods always take pride in replacing Zeus, but none have ever shaken him from his throne as god of gods. Not even his brothers, Hades or Poseidon, are on his level. I don't get why, after all this fighting, Zeus is suddenly here. If this is allowed, we demand the return of Patriarch Bodhi for a rematch. Only he could stand a chance. Xingchen's power is formidable indeed, but the Chinese dare not believe that Xingchen is as strong as Zeus, because Xingchen has been defeated before. But Zeus never has. Xingchen stood unshaken, with a sharp gleam in his eyes, a flame within, as if it could light up the entire galaxy. He suddenly got excited. It's been so many years. Besides Zhuanyuan and the Ice Lord, I, Xingchen, have found no third who could ignite the fire of the war god. Today I finally found one. You could even say he fought Athena with his eyes closed before, but now he's finally awake. As a full divinity summoner, Su Ming has some ability to deduce possible outcomes. Staring at the overwhelming pressure, he scrutinized Zeus for any clues. He didn't believe Zeus would come in person, but the conclusion was shocking. Brunhilde hadn't specified what this power was. So let's assume it's a life and death technique, similar to some transcendent transformation law from the East. Only triggered at the most critical moment of life and death. Athena has fought her entire life. She has faced death many times. But she's never truly experienced death. This is the first time. So the Zeus before her isn't the real one. It's actually the real Zeus, who poured all his divine power into Athena's body. The key point is all of it, except for the physical form. Everything else is Zeus himself. Of course, at this level of strength, a body can be recreated at will. It doesn't have much impact on overall power. Su Ming didn't dare to hesitate. He immediately told Xingshan Zeus's true identity. Doesn't matter who he is. The stronger he is, the more excited I get, Xingshan said as he walked. Now Xingshan is in his true war god form. So cool, so explosive. I suddenly understand what the name Xingshan means. Xing stands for punishment. A man who punishes the heavens. No wonder he's so intense. The blood of the Chinese people is boiling, because what's about to take place is a chaos-level godly battle. Zeus clearly doesn't take Xingshan seriously. That stinky Easterner killed Hades, and now wants to go after my child. It's time to settle this score. Originally, Zeus wanted to wait for the era of gods to arrive, for the Eastern and Western god realms to open, then avenge Hades. Even though as a brother, he's not exactly good news.
He's still family after all.
But Zeus was genuinely curious. How many in the Eastern god realm can actually fight? After little Sheila calmed herself, she started to get excited. Zeus, the supreme god king. He will personally lead this battle. Victory will belong to us. There's just one thing I don't get. This is supposed to be Athena's fight. If Lord Zeus wins, who gets the credit? Don't overthink it. Since Lord Zeus can descend here, it means the mythic arena has allowed it. Up on the arena now, Xingshan stands tall and imposing. Zeus's divine body is also 10,000 meters tall. The two are facing each other across the galaxy. The sea of lightning bathes Zeus. Suddenly, with a wave of his hand, he summons a mighty river of lightning. He is the ruler of the Western god realm. He punishes all things in the world, and is also known as the god of thunder and lightning. It's said he created lightning. He created it, not just used it. Faced with such lethal intent, Xingshan doesn't retreat but advances. He puts his hands together, and tears open the heavens. Endless karmic fire pours forth. Lightning and flames collide, causing entire star domains to collapse. This is too intense. My heart almost stopped. At this level of combat, there's no need for flashy exchanges. Just standing there, they form a realm of their own, dueling on pure power. A clash of divine might. Simply put, it feels just like a turn-based game. Su Ming is deeply impressed. The ancient gods mainly cultivated flames. What Lingshan controls should be extinction karmic fire, a branch of Red Lotus karmic fire. If it were pure Red Lotus karmic fire, this strike would definitely have the upper hand. Turbulent nebulae explode, creating a black hole on the spot. This is totally out of control. The power levels are insane. Zeus is actually black hole level. No, actually, Xingshan is black hole level. People in China don't know much about Xingshan, so they're shocked. Little Sheila, on the other hand, is shaken because Xingshan could withstand Zeus's strike, and feels stunned. Wow, from start to finish. Their Xingshan has been hiding his power. Only a god like Zeus could force out his full strength. But this is as far as it goes. Lord Zeus barely lifts a finger, and he's already reached the pinnacle of Eastern gods. Was that really just a small effort? Even Zeus's fans wouldn't brag that much. Though he looks unscathed, he's also gauged the other's strength. Damn, still restrained. Zeus growls inwardly, because his time here is limited. He went all out right from the start. He thought he could blow Xingshan away with one attack. Never expected Zeus to say, "I underestimated you. If my guess is right, you must be the creator god of the East. The strongest god in the East, right? Very good. That makes you worthy to be my opponent. Strongest god, haha." Xingshan actually mocked himself. I'm not worthy. In an instant, dozens of existences, stronger than himself, flashed through Xingshan's mind. He just hasn't fought them, so he doesn't count them as lifelong enemies. But in reality, there are definitely more who are stronger than this number. Not to mention the one who split chaos with an axe. The 12 ancestral witches, the two great demon clans. Any of them could face me. As soon as we meet, Xingshen's eyes blaze, and he replies seriously. Listen up, China only has one creator god. His name is Pan Yu.
If Pangu, the Lord God, shows up,
There wouldn't even be an east-west boundary between the gods. As soon as these words are spoken, the whole world is shocked. Pan Yu? What? China's creator god. It really is Pan Yu. I've heard of him. This parallel world's mythology is incomplete, but only one name has been passed down by word of mouth. That is the great god Pan Yu. Pan Yu created the heavens and earth. I've heard those stories since I was a baby. It was Pan Yu who split chaos with his axe, then transformed into everything in the universe and made us. But growing up and hearing it again, I thought it was all nonsense. His eyes became the sun and moon. His blood became rivers. If he was really that powerful, what about his most important life force? What did that turn into?
But now,
I feel deeply guilty for my past ignorance. I feel so sinful. The great god Pangu bears all the blame. That online confession reflects what everyone thinks of Pangu. He's extremely popular, almost a household name. But truth and tale are hard to separate. Most people think it's just folklore, not an official pantheon. But now the god Xingshen has confirmed it. The great god Pangu really existed. Little Sheila starts crying out. So the East has a creator god too? No way, I always thought it was our Western creator gods who made the East. Is China about to rise up? Or is this just fear-mongering? If this Pangu is real, and still alive, it'd be a massive threat to the Western gods. Even Zeus can't help but feel wary. If Xingshen isn't even the strongest, how powerful would their creator god be? No, it's gotta be fake. Guys, don't panic. Xingshen is bluffing. I just checked. Even if Pangu really existed, he was wiped out during creation. A dead creator god can only live on in faith. Sadly, there's a break in the Chinese pantheon. As the creator god Pangu, he doesn't even have the faith of later generations. This question was then thrown to Su Ming.
his answer was,
Since the great god Pangu could create the world, he could also create himself? Please don't make reckless comments about the creator god. Su Ming tries his best to remain in awe of Pangu, because he's convinced Pangu is not dead. Perhaps since he's so respectful, he'll narrowly win the next round. As for Pangu, Xingshen is also full of reverence. When he learned that the world wasn't sure of this honored god's existence, he couldn't wait to let the name of Pangu resound across all of China. Why should the great god Pangu need to act personally? I, Xingshen, can defeat you myself. Xingshen's eyes widen with fury, unleashing his strongest divine power. Throwing a punch, Zeus's godly power became apparent. A boundless divine form spread across the starry sky. How dare you disrespect the creator god? Once he learned the opponent wasn't the creator god Zeus, he immediately perked up. Even the world god can destroy the world. With focused concentration, the space around Xingshen began to distort, including Xingshen's divine body, which was undergoing subtle changes, as it was frantically corroded by destructive karma. Yet Xingshen just gave a cold snort. What a joke. Mind your own Western realm. Your hand can't reach the gods of the East. Under Xingshen's heavy punch, he unleashed primeval techniques, which clashed with Western divine power, creating a standoff. Both sides' divine powers began to dissipate. Time seemed frozen. But in fact, the confrontation was escalating. The flaw of his manifested body quickly became apparent. Although Zeus could exert all his divine power, Athena's body couldn't withstand it. So he was forced to hold back. If he kept pushing, Xingshen wouldn't even need to act. The body would self-destruct, and Athena would die on the spot. Absolutely not. This kind of low-level deity cannot be allowed to trample on the creator god's dignity. Zeus made up his mind and took a risky decision to bring his true body over. Su Ming saw through the plan. He thought Zeus wouldn't get tripped up due to the body's limitations. But he didn't expect things to actually go wrong. Because Xingshen's power exceeded expectations, he needed an even higher level of divine power to defeat him. That's right, just believe in your choice, Su Ming mourned in his heart, almost as if egging him on, and finally got what he wanted. Zeus actually tried to build a passage between two worlds, without opening the celestial gate, so he could transfer his true body over. Zeus stretched his hand into the void, and pulled out a door. The door emanated an ancient aura and led directly to the western heavenly realm. What's that? Is that the celestial gate? Why does Zeus have it in his hand? That's way too terrifying. Even the celestial gate is in his grasp. Does he think order is just a decoration? Dragon, dragon, dragon. Faint thunder rumbled inside the black ancient door. A sense of foreboding lurked in everyone's hearts. It was as if a great terror was about to descend. What's going on? Wasn't this Athena versus Xingqian? If Zeus's real body arrives, this whole battle will be redefined. Zeus will not lose, nor is he allowed to, because he represents the highest might of the Western gods, the god of gods. Everyone, get ready to welcome the mighty Zeus. The Greeks were almost driven mad. Some people even regretted it, feeling that it wasn't worth using Zeus to exchange for Xingqian, who wasn't a creator god. Not worth it. Mystery solved. The Zeus before us was just an incarnation. The real body is about to descend. Too bad they're not fighting their own creator god, Pengu. Otherwise, they could have eliminated this big threat. Little Sheila actually thinks Zeus can handle the mighty Pengu. And at this moment, the corners of Su Ming's mouth rise slightly. He begins counting down, 32, 1, and sends a message to Xingqian. Great god Xingqian, seize the opportunity. If you're any later, you won't be able to use him as practice. Xingqian was stunned for a moment, but had a premonition at some deeper level, and then erupted with the power of the stars. Zeus now finally sensed something was wrong. This is bad. This power actually surpasses mine. He couldn't believe it, that something in this world could make him feel fear. Is it order? Is it law? High above the celestial gate, a cold, clear voice suddenly rang out. Zeus, you have defied the law. Now you will be sent back. Do not resist. As the voice spoke, a beam of light shone down, melting the portal. As Zeus's incarnation was stripped from Athena's body, Xingqian gathered his divine power, his fist glowing like a blazing sun, striking at Zeus at the very last second. Remember this, Western demon god. You're only qualified to spar with me. Zeus was already frustrated, and now faced such provocation. So at the last moment, he went all out and sent out a punch. Until the light faded and the smoke cleared, Zeus returned to the heavens. But that astonishing, dazzling strike left a deep mark on everyone in the world. Up until now, this was the strongest collision, bar none. Xingqian is just way too cool. They've already left, yet you still want to punch them. Isn't this just to see you get mad, since you can't even hit me anyway? My male god is just too much. Zeus' temple in the kingdom of Shira. The handsome man sitting on the throne dodged for a moment, with the gates between east and west open. Pengu, Xingqian, and others appearing. I, Zeus, will make you pay dearly for this. Definitely. Zeus is literally losing his mind with rage. He wishes he could just go kill them himself. Xingqian is strong, but not to the point where Zeus feels threatened. If the Eastern creator god is only at this level, he'll kill everyone who comes. If two come together, he'll just team up with his uncles to kill them both. Kid, you've suffered enough. You won't truly die, for I've secretly taken a part of your divine essence. But you will sleep forever because of it. After his fury subsides, Zeus's eyes clear up again. The world says he's the most evil, ruthless god and lecher. He even tried to eat his own children because of a baseless prophecy. He wanted to eat his own kids. Honestly, they're not wrong. To consolidate his divine power, he did eat quite a few kids. But he also shows kindness as a father. Like with Ares, his children fought from childhood onward, all circling around the toxic Athena, showing rare fatherly love. Mythic arena. Xingqian smiles at the gods above, feeling Zeus's anger. Zeus really is a great opponent, but it's a pity to miss out. Then, Xingqian gave Athena a deep look as she returned to her true form. Sadly, your fate still cannot be changed. Xingqian's words sounded like a death sentence, whispering into Athena's ears. Athena's expression was empty, her eyes vacant. She stared blankly around, as if she'd lost something. What's wrong with a goddess? She doesn't seem right. Feels like she's lost her mind. That's because Zeus took part of her spirit, leaving her mind incomplete. But in Athena's eyes, there was a firm resolve. Unusually strong, humble last name. I'm sorry, my guardians. Having lost part of her divine essence, Athena can't control her emotions. this goddess of victory, who once charged through the cruelest holy wars. All the little Shiras are bawling their eyes out. No miracle happened. None of them want the goddess to leave us. No, the goddess isn't gone. She will forever live in our hearts, watching over us for eternity. Some went so far as to curse, "Damn those Eastern gods." We won't forget this grudge. Now the pressure is on India. Indian brothers, please send out your strongest god for the next match. Let the Eastern gods know what real brutality is. The Indians are getting nervous. Maybe we should just wait and see? What if another Xingshan shows up on the other side? We couldn't handle that either. The entire internet is watching. Athena has no strength left to fight. Xingshan slowly approaches as an executioner before the heavens, about to execute the legendary female war goddess. Sadness spreads around the world. Gotta admit, being good-looking really matters. If it was some ugly monster like Gatinja being executed now, would you still feel sympathy? No matter what, at least Athena died with honor. May you rest in peace. Safe journey ahead. Xingshan was never one for hesitation. He raised his battle axe. The greatest respect to an enemy is to give a swift end. Give them a clean death. Wait, Athena slowly raised her head.
Eastern god.
Please allow me to end this battle my own way. Oh, Xingshan was puzzled, but still paused, holding his axe. A goddess should even die beautifully. I heard gods can destroy their own divinity. Rather than die at my enemy's hand, I'd rather end it myself. Athena stabbed her long spear into the ground, her shield turning into a stream of light in her hand. Finally, her beautiful eyes focused, and her whole body radiated a dazzling holy light. You could tell, Athena was in immense pain in this state. No one knew what she was doing, except Hela, the summoner. Zoe cried out, "No! No, the goddess's life is fading away. She's performing a divine gift." A divine gift? What's a divine gift? Everyone online was completely confused. You can't even find it online. Until under Athena's feet, a 12-pointed star array appeared again. The only difference was, this star array was blood red. Zoe continued. The contract between gods and their protectors can fulfill each other. When a protector sacrifices themselves for a god, it's called a sacrifice. When a god gives back to their protector, it's called a blessing. What Athena is building now is the highest form of divine gift, gifting one's status as a deity. Wait, weren't the gold saints all dead? Why isn't Zoe answering the audience's questions? Anyone with a brain can figure it out. No need to explain. I get it. The goddess wants to use her life to resurrect those fallen saints. Oh no, I don't want to cry, but I really can't hold it in. The blonde Shira girls were already on the edge of crying. Now it's over. They're definitely going to lose it. Xingshan's gaze turned. He had a rule. Every opponent he fights, either he dies, or they die by his hand. But today, he's willing to break that rule. When the 12 zodiac signs appeared once more in the sky, a golden light beamed down, crashing straight into the new formation. Athena bathed in heavenly light, her gaze gradually clearing up, but her body beginning to fade away. Farewell to those who protected me, and everything I protected. The 12-star array spun violently. Seiya tried to run out of the light beam, wanting to stop Athena's divine gift. Athena looked at Seiya through her tears, giving him one last glance, and finally disappeared. The zodiac signs were just a projection. With Athena gone, everyone returned to their own mythological worlds. This unfair battle was finally over. At last, it's over. The West suffered defeat once again. And this one stung the most. They lost because something was missing. Maybe it was faith. Meanwhile, in China, thunderous cheers erupted, celebrating victory as ours. Great God Xingshan, from today on, you are my male god, the one and only.
Hey, what about the Monkey King?
Switching idols just like that? As the Valkyrie bathed in golden light, she appeared in the arena, solemnly announcing, the 22nd match of the Mythic Arena. China is the winner. They have earned a key fragment, Xingshan muttered. We won. Time for me to leave. That imposing figure. His face bore only a determined expression. But at this moment, Su Ming noticed a subtle oddity. Great deity Xingshan, are you really going after your return? Xingshan stopped walking. He glanced at Su Ming. Hey, little Wang. You're worried my head will get chopped off again, aren't you? Relax, I'll have you reattach it if needed. Their conversation wasn't hidden at all. All the flower folk grew curious. That battle between Xingshen and the Yellow Emperor back then. What exactly happened? Why is great deity Xingshen so persistent? Knowing he can't win, yet still insists on trying. Is there some deep-seated grudge with the progenitor of humanity? Above the mythic arena, Xingshen paused for a long time. After a long, deep sigh, he finally spoke solemnly. Kid, do you understand I'm not a divine ancestor? Su Ming was silent at first, but not as shocked as the audience. He had always known the secret behind Xingshen's origins. He nodded heavily. You are the lost great Wu of the Wu clan. So you already knew. All your great deity calling almost made me hesitate to tell you. Xingshen went on. I am a member of the ancient Wu clan. My feud with Xuanyuan is nothing much. I fight for the final honor of the Wu people. At this point, Xingshen's voice grew firm. Fighting for the Wu clan. The audience was honestly confused. They'd heard of humans, gods, and demons, but never the Wu clan. Could they be the ancestors of modern shamans? Nonsense. Xingshen is way too strong for that. And you say he's just a shaman? Everyone's impression of shamans is listening to eerie songs, dancing strange dances, muttering weird rituals, a bunch of obvious fakes, completely unlike Xingshen's upright and mighty image. In fact, Xingshen could also be called a Wu god. It's different from being a shaman. As the last great Wu, Xingshen isn't one of the 12 ancestral Wu, but his power is on par with them. Sadly, all the ancients fell in battle. That battle was called the Wu Demon War. Back then, the Wu clan declined. To rise again, they were forced to steal fortune from humanity. Even the demon clan got involved. I was born to fulfill a mission, sworn to follow the ancestral Wu to the death. Even though Xiu belonged to a different era from me, what I protect will last forever. No matter the outcome, he will always keep fighting. Just like Athena's saints, there's always something worth protecting. Su Ming hesitated to speak. This is Xingshen's choice. He can't change it. But if he's summoned, Su Ming will always come. Xingshen laughed heartily at that. I'm not that weak. No way I get beheaded a second time. I haven't been idling these 10,000 years. Looking at the rumbling sky, Xingshen knew. Several powerful beings were already waiting behind the heavenly gate. Great, time for me to go. If needed, I, Xingshen, will return to fight. Su Ming nodded solemnly. He didn't tell Xingshen that each deity gets only one chance to fight. All the people of Wuxia watched as Xingshen stepped through the gate, until that figure standing tall in everyone's hearts completely faded away. What will great deity Xingshen face after he returns? So conflicted, this isn't really good news. But it's good news too. They don't want Xingshen in danger. But for a god strong enough to threaten him, how incredibly powerful must they be? Guess we shouldn't overthink it. We've won another match. 5 victories in a row. Gotta treat myself for this. 5 straight wins in 5 minutes. Made Huaxia's people forget what losing feels like. Zayla was so angry she gritted her teeth. Keep them steady. There's an old saying, arrogance leads to defeat. Look at how cocky they are. Next round they're bound to mess up. Forget it. I'm about to lose faith in our gods. A sense of defeat finally shrouded the Westerners' hearts. Meanwhile, the unchanging law. Su Ming scored another great item, a set of armor. The armor was made of light and shadow, so the audience couldn't see that right after Xingshen left. He immediately put it on. Xingshen's final voice echoed in Su Ming's mind. This armor took me tens of thousands of years to forge. I wanted to give it to... But now it won't be needed. You wear it. It'll keep your body from dying. With the armor on, Xingshen gave him a sense of safety. If he'd worn this in his past life, even Poseidon's trident would be bent. Su Ming stared at the heavenly gate for a long time. Great, deity Xingshen. Wishing that everything ahead goes as you want. The Wu clan is gone. Xingshen fought for them. You can imagine what he's about to face. Thinking about it, Su Ming felt weighed down. How come, even after winning, you aren't happy? Is our summoner troubled about something? Maybe he's just tired? Come on, break my bones. Make soup for the summoner. Even though it's the gods risking their lives, The summoner's contribution is huge. You could even say, this 5-win streak is all thanks to Su-Ming. I've decided, from now on, no matter who the summoner chooses, I'll support them unconditionally. No more complaining. That's an illness.
Anyway,
Su-Ming's image, in some people's minds, has become almost that of a guardian god. Because the other gods leave when they're done, only Su-Ming stays and holds the line. Like they say, gods come and go. But the summoner stands firm. The mythic arena moves quickly. Not much time for rest. Time for another exciting moment. 5 straight defeats. The Indian summoner took the stage amid immense pressure, yet there was no anxiety on Swoma's face.
Instead, he looked confident, as if victory was in the bag.
Dragon Country Summoner. You choose first. This round, I'm using the 3-god card. Swoma's eyes glimmered darkly, like he had everything under control. The Mythic Arena has hosted 22 matches. The audience's enthusiasm faded. But hearing the words 3-god card, the world's attention locked back in. People everywhere were stunned. Has the Indian summoner lost his mind? Playing the 3-god card now is way too risky. Why not before? Now they play it after seeing Huaxia's deities everywhere. Isn't this suicidal? That's what the Westerners worry about. Even Su-Ming was taken aback. His face instantly turned grim. They're really forcing things here. What is the 3-god card? It can only be used by the side who wins 10 in a row. You will receive a Trinity card. The rules of the mythical arena are 1v1. But there is one exception, which is using the Trinity card. As the name implies, the side using the Trinity card can summon 3 gods at once. It becomes a 3v1 match. If the Trinity card wins, it's 3 victories at once. If the Trinity card loses, it's 3 losses in a row. In other words, one fight decides 3 wins. Ha, little Indus is so scheming. Trying to end our team in one fight. No sense of fair play. Longo has already lost 17 games. If we lose this one, we'll declare war straight up. The 1v1 fights are already exciting enough. And now they want to go 3-0-1. Anxiety instantly engulfed all our people. They're really pushing us to the brink, not leaving any path for survival. And looking at Kuroma's confident face, obviously he's sure to summon the strongest Indian gods. It's over, it's all over. Completely done for. Just saw a glimmer of hope. But forgot about the deadly Trinity card. Su-Ming clenched his teeth hard, steadied his mind a little. Stay calm, don't panic. If we can summon Sanking Nua or other sages, it might not be such a bad thing. Su-Ming immediately spoke up. Dear Valkyrie, since they used the Trinity card, the first pick right should go to Team Indus this time. The Valkyrie double-checked, confirming Team Indus will use the Trinity card. Zoe nodded emphatically. Yes, good. The Trinity card takes effect immediately. Out of the 5 awakened gods for Team Indus, they can summon 3 to battle at once. The winner of this match gets 3 key fragments. After clearly stating the rules, the Valkyrie accepted Su-Ming's request. Team Indus summoners, please place your god roster. Begin to awaken the gods. Zoe didn't say anything more, and did as instructed since the order didn't make a difference. A 3-on-1 is basically an easy win. No matter which Eastern god shows up, it won't help. Little Indus is on a 5-win streak, right? It'll be ended by us, the Greater Indus, even if 3-on-1 is a bit unsporting. This time, even your strongest god won't be able to stop us. It's not just the summoners who are confident. Even the upper-ups in Indus have total confidence. Just now, the Indus Pantheon sent a message through the idol, showing how seriously they take this match, which means the gods will send their strongest to join in, to help their people. If China is acting cocky now, they'll crash even harder soon enough. Their strongest god should be something like Xingshan Bodhi, right? My thoughts are, if they used the Trinity card last round, Athena plus 2 of Indus main gods would have crushed Xingshan and wiped China's streamers. Everyone would be celebrating nationwide. Actually, if we could summon Shiva, giving this Trinity card to Changwo wouldn't matter. Because once our Lord Shiva steps in, let alone fight 3, even fighting 10 Xingshan would be nothing. Zoe placed the god roster on the altar. Since they used the Trinity card, there's no need to summon Shiva. Shiva has his own pride.
He only fights a whole group alone.
He never teams up to bully just one opponent. As Zoe input her divinity, the god roster began to refresh.
Again, 5 gods appeared.
But this time, it's pick 3 out of 5. No need to awaken a creator god. 3 first-tier gods are enough to crush any Chinese god. Let me ask, can 3 first-tier gods defeat a creator god? Idiot, you can't compare just by numbers. Enough arguing, enough arguing. They've refreshed the roster. A new name from the Indus roster appeared on the big screen.
Garuda.
It's Garuda. Almost instantly, Indus decided to pick him. The legendary super divine bird second only to epic gods. The ancestor of all beasts. God of myriad beasts. This round is in the bag. Although, Garuda is the mount of Vishnu, the creator god. But he only can't beat a creator god. Definitely a powerhouse just below a creator. Suddenly, it feels like a waste. Sending out Garuda right away kind of wastes the Trinity card. Once Garuda is out, do we even still need a 3-on-1? A single flap would send the entire Eastern Pantheon flying. Even so, little Indus is still hoping to awaken a supreme god. After all, Xingshan left a huge trauma on them. Better safe than sorry. They still want to play it safe. But the next name that appeared made Team Indus go wild. Even Yinjin next door shouted in awe. A big screen with heavenly Indra displayed. Indra appears again. Though he is the ruler of the Indus pantheon, he is still beneath the triumvirate gods. Also pay level. Indra's imposing name in China is Di Shishan. The Chinese crowd couldn't sit still. Di Shishan might not be ancestor god tier, but teamed up with Indus demon ancestor Garuda. No one dared to finish that sentence. He could probably rival the mighty Xingshan. I really want to show off our national strength with confidence. But little India summoned a demon and a god. That's just too cruel. Don't panic. Trust the summoner. What if they actually summon the creator god Pangyu? In the minds of Chinese people, only the great deity Pangyu could stand against such a terrifying lineup. Su Ming is actually very calm. What he's worried about isn't the gods, but his own luck running out. What if all his good luck has already been used up? And all the awakenings are just land-related attacks? Wouldn't that be a complete waste? As he hesitated, the third god from India awakened King Asura. Rahula WC. The Chinese people finally understood why the Indian summoner was so confident. Every single awakening was even more badass than the last. How is this even a fair game? Wait, the name Rahula sounds really familiar. I think I've seen him in some mythological novel. Isn't he our Chinese demon ancestor? As soon as those words were spoken, little India immediately got cocky. Wake up, little China. You guys don't have gods. So you wrote our gods into your novels and claimed them as your own. I don't need to explain anything. The divine records make everything clear. Some Chinese who saw Rahula as one of their own completely lost their faith. They never expected Rahula not only really existed, but he was actually an enemy. Right now, Indians are laughing their heads off. Heaven bless the great India. There's no need to pick anymore. We can skip the last 2 awakening slots. King Asura, a god and a demon. Aren't they all god-king level? Hey, get it right. No offense. But Lord Rahula is half a level higher than the other 2 gods. According to the Buddhavata legend, Rahula led the Asura clan, and they were bold enough to challenge Mahadevi herself. Chinese netizens don't even want to think anymore. They instantly looked at Sunning. Good. The summoner looks calm. He clearly doesn't care. There's still a chance. Chinese people who had just psyched themselves up were hit with cold reality in an instant, because the next name to appear became the last straw that broke the camel's back. The final straw. What, my family's Buddha. Oh my god, it's the householder Buddha! Did I see that right? It's really Buddha. The Indians were shocked. They never expected to see the Buddha, whom they only see in temples. Edge out for the win. I never used to follow Buddhism, and thought it was just a man-made way to control minds. But who knew? It turns out I'm the ignorant one. After that man finished speaking, he immediately began to repent, silently reciting Buddhist scriptures 300 times. There are many Buddhas in Buddhist legends. The one before us, Kashyapa Buddha, is one of the Buddhas of the past. Unfortunately, our Shakyamuni Buddha went to the east. Otherwise, maybe he would have awakened instead. Careful, that's not something to say lightly. Besides, How is Kasyapa Buddha inferior to Shakyamuni Buddha? No matter what, Buddha's power is definitely among the three-tier gods. It's just that Buddha is above worldly competition, so he doesn't vie for the supreme title. Judging from the Chinese people's faces, they looked completely drained. Weren't you just laughing a minute ago? Go on, keep laughing. They really can't laugh anymore. Almost no one has heard of Kashyapa, but the name Buddha says it all. But someone still quietly asked, isn't that equivalent to our Bodhi patriarch? Su Ming doesn't think so. Buddha is more parallel to the Trimurti. But as for matching Bodhi patriarch, halfway through the thought, the last name appeared. One of the Trimurti Vishnu. Vishnu rules over the Indian realm of the gods, the supreme deity. He awakened too. There are many gods called supreme in this world, including Buddha Kashyapa, but they're not truly supreme. Only the Trimurti are really the most supreme ones, on equal footing with the cosmic scale. When they saw the name Vishnu, the Indians weren't just excited. They were going crazy. Even those in the audience or in front of their screens all went wild and started worshipping those three characters. Our Lord Vishnu. We don't mean any disrespect, but only if you step up. Can we be absolutely assured of victory? So all your devout believers are wishing for you to fight. The reason the believers repented, is that asking Vishnu to team up with other gods, to bully an Eastern god, is actually the greatest insult to Vishnu. Now that Lord Vishnu's awakened, Mahadevi can't be far behind. Among Indian folks, the Trimurti have the highest status. Even Buddha can't be compared to them. But even among the Trimurti, some are more popular than others. Mahadevi is clearly seen as the goddess of goddesses by Indians. By now, all the Chinese hearts have hit rock bottom. No hope left. They can't see any hope. It's hard enough to fight just one Buddha. But now they have a Trimurti too. No need to doubt it. India is definitely choosing Vishnu, Kasyapa Buddha, Rahula. Just pick any of the three. All of them are ancestor-level gods. Don't be discouraged, okay? Isn't Brahma a Trimurti too? Didn't Monkey King beat him as well? We still have the great Pangu, right? My gut tells me. Our creator god is a bit stronger than the Western one. Just a bit. Chinese netizens trying to comfort themselves. We're laughed at by Westerners. Here comes Little Eagle again. This kind of mental victory. I thought only appeared in your novels. Didn't expect all you Chinese to be so good at it. To be real with you, Lord Brahma's not dead. Not long ago, his statue regained divine energy. If he can absorb our faith, it proves he's still alive. Little China probably can't handle this news. They really can't handle it. Brahma isn't dead. He just left the arena in some way. Of course not. Brahma's indeed not dead. But revival won't be easy. His remnant soul was taken back to the Eastern realm by the Monkey King. Unless the barrier between East and West is opened, don't even think about reviving him. But right now, the other side awakened not only Kasyapa, but Vishnu too. Unless a sage appears. This lineup is pretty much impossible to deal with. It's time for China's summoner. Zoe has already made the final choice. She looked at Sumi with a mocking expression. Little Sakura is beyond thrilled. India scored a major win this round. Good thing India has enough supreme gods. Otherwise, there's no way to pull off this god-tier lineup. In my country of cherry blossoms, Vishnu is also considered a really explosive god. I think only Amaterasu Omikami could compare with him. Su Ming tried to stay calm, presenting himself in the best possible way to the gods. The Chinese feel their fate is at stake, and all the pressure is being placed on him. Summoner, the fate of all of Waxia rests on you. The chronicles of battle are all on your shoulders. Please, you must summon the strongest god of Waxia for us. That's the worst thing to say. It sounds like encouragement. But in reality, it's just disgusting. If I could guarantee a 100% success, would I need to hear all your nagging? Su Ming has never been one of those saintly do-gooders. He's just in this position, and only he can save Waxia. But Su Ming always felt.
He was saving Waxia itself.
Not these people with such ugly faces. Su Ming took a deep breath. 3 pure ones, 6 saints, and countless gods. Give me just one, please. The divine register was unrolled, with densely packed names radiating all kinds of light. As the Valkyrie's manifestation descended, the first awakened god was Alang Shanshan Zhenjiang Jian. Still the same familiar name. Only now Alang came first. Su Ming couldn't help but twitch his face. Come on, Jian bro. You sure are persistent. What a pity. This match just isn't for you. Not just you. Even if your master, the true person of Yuding, showed up. P.S. Brothers. Don't think I'm disrespecting our deities. The other side is way too stacked this time. Some viewers even thought Zhenjin was doing this on purpose. Is Zhenjin really that high tier? Maybe let's not. Seriously, just think about it. The higher the status, the stronger the god. You see how eager he is. Makes you wonder about his true power. Not that I want to disrespect Elang Zhenjin. It's just that this round is way too high level. But still, we can't let Zhenjin down. Maybe in one of the later lower tier matches. Let Zhenjin come play then. The netizens made the choice for Su Ming, directly vetoing young Elang. Then, with 2 quick pops, 2 more god names burst out. One, Taiju Kutu Dianzun. The other, Heoshan. Whoa, this one. The name was so long. Su Ming didn't even register it at first. Even the viewers were dumbfounded by this string of names. That's long. Crazy long. It was indeed Heoshan, Supreme Primordial Celestial Emperor of Infinite Ultimate Truth, the Jade Emperor of Fate. Everyone was stunned. We thought after awakening Erlang Zhenjin first, we wouldn't get much better luck. Until we saw Taijuku Tianzun. That's Taijuku Tianzun, one of the 4 royals beneath the 3 pure ones. Even though it wasn't the top pick, at least it's a solid choice. And we never expected the Jade Emperor to show up steady, super steady. If the 4 royals are just below the 3 pure ones, then the Jade Emperor is right in between. He's above the 4 royals. When Su Ming seemed to be smirking, the netizens felt hope again. With a name this long, he must be really powerful. We're so used to the Earthly Emperor title, but never really heard Heavenly Emperor. But still, why do I feel like Tianzun sounds stronger than Emperor? Sakura-chan, Sakura-san, and Shira from India were also stunned by this string of names. No idea what to say. A lot of people tried hard and managed just one sound. What's up with the Jade Emperor? Pretty average potential. Cultivated for 1.32 billion kalpas. To finally become the Heavenly Emperor, practically a quasi-saint level. Before the last god even awakened. At this moment, in the mythological realm, the Hall of Ling Shao. This doesn't make sense. I, the Emperor, already eliminated a whole class of gods. So how can I still receive a summons? The Jade Emperor pondered deeply. No, if I want to keep slacking off and enjoying myself, I need to find a scapegoat. The Jade Emperor quickly called for Taijuku Tianzun, also known as the Eastern Deva Qinghua Emperor. Tianzun, did you also get a summons from another world? That kindly Taoist with long beard nodded with an immortal's wisdom. Could it be that you did too, Jade Emperor? The Jade Emperor cleared his throat. Well, I have a nation to run. Can't leave the Heavenly Palace. If the summons is truly for me, would Tianzun please go in my place? What the Jade Emperor couldn't have guessed is that Qinghua Emperor was a sly old fox too. Jade Emperor, this battle is no ordinary one. I'm afraid I'm not capable enough, and this fight is beyond me. As Taijuku spoke, a glint flashed in his eyes. But I do happen to have a god I could recommend. The Jade Emperor focused for a moment and got the idea right away. Who else could it be? Obviously, that one from the Grand Marshal's palace on the 33rd heaven. The 33rd heaven is called Liantian, filled with swirling celestial clouds, and quiet beyond compare. There are 36 heavens in the celestial realm. The higher you go, the stronger and more respected the gods, and the more distinguished their status. Legend has it, the 33rd heaven is where the Jade Emperor and the Grand Supreme Elder live. Online, the 34th heaven is Supreme Azure Heaven, home to Lingbao Tianzun. The 35th heaven is Yuqing Yuanxi Tianzun's realm. And as for the 36th heaven, it's apparently empty, with no gods in residence. At this time, in the Grand Marshal's palace, in front of the 8 trigrams furnace, was an immortal robed elder. The old man waved his horsetail whisk, lifting the furnace lid, and a purple gold elixir flew out the top, shining with colorful light. This 10-color elixir hadn't been made for 1,000 years. Excellent, Excellent. The Grand Supreme Elder smiled gently and put the gold elixir into a white bottle. Most elixirs are kept in linglong bottles, but using a white one means this is a gift of gold or silver. The young attendant was puzzled. Old master, this Tongshan pill is of Taiyi golden elixir quality. Who are you giving it to? After all, even for you, it takes 1,000 years just to make one pill. Since the monkey caused havoc in heaven 1,000 years ago and ate several of these pills, the old man hasn't made another Tongshan pill. It will go to someone with fate. The elder smiled serenely. A beam of golden light flew in from Lingxiao Palace, landing in the elder's hand. He opened it and looked. An invitation for the elder to fight in another world, sealed by the Jade Emperor himself. In the main hall normally, they are monarch and subject, but these powerhouses, privately who doesn't respect him as Grand Dao ancestor, or virtue Tianzun? The elder calculated with his fingers, and shook his head. Not the right time yet. The gold and silver attendants saw it was the lower realm, and eagerly volunteered, Elder, since it's not suitable for you to descend, let us go in your stead. We will not fail His Majesty's trust. The gold attendant's eyes shone, staying here on the 33rd heaven, endlessly refining pills day and night, has left us numb. Sometimes I even wish the monkey would cause chaos again, and eat up all the elder's medicine in the heavenly palace, just to make him realize alchemy is useless, since they're all given away anyway. After hearing what the gold and silver attendants said, Lao Jun looked just like an ordinary old man, and burst out laughing. Just you two? Lao Jun, you're joking. If that monkey can go, why can't we? Besides, 500 years ago, when we descended as the elite king, we beat that monkey so badly he was looking for his teeth all over the ground. Even though Lao Jun ranks among the 3 pure ones, he's always been friendly with his disciples, always joking and laughing. But suddenly, Lao Jun raised an eyebrow. Enough! The great sage has attained Buddhahood. You must not be so disrespectful. Right after, he tossed the jade white bottle containing the Tongshan pill up to the 35th heaven, and sent a message as well. Reality. Ever since the name of the Jade Emperor was revealed, the Warren were finally able to breathe a little easier. If we can summon the Jade Emperor, maybe this fight isn't unwinnable. But what can't be known is, the process is bound to be incredibly tough. The Huarun are still thinking too small. How powerful is the Jade Emperor? Su Ming knows very well. In his heart, he already decided to summon him. A minute ago, the 4th name already appeared on the deity list. Kitigarbha Bodhisattva. Hell will not be empty until I become a Buddha. In fact, Kitigarbha Bodhisattva has long been qualified for Buddhahood. But because his vows haven't been fulfilled, he doesn't want to become a Buddha yet. Su Ming guessed. Kitigarbha Bodhisattva's strength is enough to be on par with the Western karmic Buddha. But the other two, Huarun still keep one concept in mind. A Bodhisattva is a level below a Buddha. So no need to think about it. Just pick the Lord of the Divine Realm, the Jade Emperor. Only after Su Ming said it aloud did the Chinese talent realize that the Jade Emperor is the boss of the Divine Realm. Among all gods and Buddhas, he's the recognized ruler of the heavenly court. But what they never expected was someone like him. With that kind of status, Jade Emperor just wants to slack off. Little Tianju isn't scared at all. Looks like Zhongguo actually has some luck. Too bad this is just meaningless resistance. Let me put it this way. They have a Sky Emperor, and so do we. Consider it a 1-for-1 trade. Lord Vishnu and Kassapa Buddha could win without even lifting a finger. Emperor versus Emperor. Seems fair, right? Are you saying the Eastern Emperor is stronger than our Western one? What the heck? It's been stuck for 3 minutes already. The last god for the Warren players still hasn't shown up, huh? This is killing me with laughter. Maybe all the gods on the deity list got scared silly. And don't dare to come down. Little Tianju has some mysterious confidence. Even thinking, yeah, this invincible lineup must be their strongest. Even Pangu, the creator god, would have to kneel. There's a little circle spinning on the big screen, stuck on the deity list. Even the senders are getting anxious. They've lost all hope. Already set on summoning the Jade Emperor. But what is this last god actually doing? Su Ming was also confused. Usually in cases like this, the god that's able to respond would immediately show up. But none of the gods or Buddhas want to take it. That's obviously impossible. So there's only one possibility. The spot is already occupied, but hasn't been officially acknowledged. So the other gods don't dare accept it. At this point, Su Ming's once calm heart started to race. Who could it be, with such clout, that all gods and Buddhas have to give them respect? At this moment in the mythology world, level 34 above the azure sky, an elderly Taoist in a green robe sat serenely on a lotus throne. Inhaling and exhaling, primordial purple energy flowed around him. Elder senior brother, why do you always do whatever Bai Ren tells you? Are you addicted to pretending? Shenqing Lingbao Tianzun, otherwise known as the famed Lord Tongshen, laughed and said, "All right, since it's my senior brother's request, I'll handle this in his place." With that he waved his hand, dispersing a sea of clouds. Where his gaze landed was the heavenly gate to the mortal world. He's up! He's up! It's Lord Tongshen. Never heard of Lord as a title before. It's both unfamiliar and not totally new. Is it like the Lord of the White Lotus sect? Is he just here to make up the numbers? Just thinking about it makes the Warren annoyed. We've been on edge, waiting all this time, just for some Lord. There were boos all around, both on-site and online. The Westerners were having a blast. But only Su Ming's heart skipped a beat. He couldn't even believe he saw those 4 characters. One of the 3 pure ones. Lingbao Tianzun, Lord Tongshen. This is absolutely amazing. Dragon Elder controls public opinion across all networks in the Waxia region. Any disrespectful remarks about the Tongshen Master will be banned. All such accounts will be blocked. Personal IDs will be blacklisted. Everyone, online and even on-site, should join me in welcoming the Tongshen Master. With these words, Dragon Elder hesitated briefly, but still went along with it. Countless people expressed confusion, because such a grand ceremony for inviting a deity has never happened before. Old Tianzhu was puzzled. Doesn't invoking deities in Dragon Nation just take a few minutes of communication? Why is it so straightforward this time? Communicate what, exactly? Su Ming reiterated once again. All Waxia citizens please rise and offer the highest bow ritual. Respectfully invite the Supreme Taoist Lingbao Tianzun of the 3 Pure Ones, Tongshen Master, to arrive. The Waxia people were still confused. Was the decision really made so rashly? Even the Jade Emperor was not required. But under Su Ming's strict orders, everyone stood up and bowed. Yes, this time. There is no need for him to enter the mythic world. So, in this plot, all Waxia citizens pay their highest respect and welcome. Because the Tongshen Master has already arrived. Welcome, Tongshen Master. Welcome, Tongshen Master. Welcome, Tongshen Master. A wave of sincere voices echoed through the arena. Most people still didn't understand. Yet, almost involuntarily, they bowed in reverence. The Waxia people have gone crazy. Young Tianzhu was shocked by Waxia's united momentum. Check, quick, check. Look up the Tongshen Master's rank in Waxia mythology. What level is he? Tianzhu's top leaders gave the order, but the feedback was, no such deity found. Yet another nameless god. What kind of trick are their summoners playing? Putting on an act. They're definitely trying to fool us. Trying to win with sheer momentum. Wait, no, I think I figured it out. In their Waxia terms, there's a word called farewell ritual. No matter who it is, their god will fall in this battle. So they're giving the highest send-off in advance. When these words reached Su Ming, he almost laughed out loud like a pig. Sending off the Tongshen Master? Where do you get the guts for that? Is it from Ms. Lang Yang? At Heaven's Gate, the Tongshen Master approaches on a divine aura. The gate already opened just for him. Tongshen Master arrives uninvited. Not only is it not disrespectful, but like Patriarch Bodhi, he wields supreme power over divine realms. But just as he's about to step through Heaven's Gate, something unexpected happens. The 100-foot-high Heaven's Gate, supported by unique order, begins to quake wildly. Its edges are starting to crack. Rumble, rumble, Tongshen Master strokes his beard. Is this unwelcome for me? No one responds to him. But as Tongshen Master is about to step forward, the trembling intensifies. Are you threatening me? Tongshen Master looks slightly displeased. Because Heaven's Gate seems to be saying, if you dare walk through here today, I'll split apart right on the spot. Do you believe it? This scene is broadcast to the lower world via giant screen, and people misinterpret it. The Western audience laughs. What if he's been blacklisted by Heaven's Gate? Disgusting sense of excitement. Nicely done. If this Tongshan master can't descend, Huaxia loses its chance to reset its divine roster. No gods to fight. They'd have to forfeit. Huaxia would truly be finished. Sheila mocks cynically. Hey, you're being way too absolute. There's one more rule in the mythic arena. If there are no gods left to fight, the summoner can enter personally to battle against the gods. Snicker, fight gods directly. Lord Vishnu battles Gautama Buddha, fights King Asura. That's actually true. Suddenly the pressure shifts to Su Ming. What should have been an easy win now has unexpected trouble at the critical moment. Tongshan Elder, you didn't anger the arena's order, did you? So what now? If Tongshan Elder really can't come down, he'll have to take the stage himself. There's no other choice. But there's only one possible outcome. He'll immediately get eliminated. The newly sincere hearts among Huaxia spectators are instantly met with complaints and grievances. It's over, it's over. Quick, come down, the outcome hinges on this round. We have no way out. Summoner, think of something. The trembling at Heaven's Gate still hasn't stopped. Tongshan Master is so angry he wants to slap the gate apart. And then, suddenly, an old Taoist's voice comes from beyond the heavens. Tongshan friend, please calm down. This gate is very mysterious. It connects the entire mortal world outside. If your slap lands, the gate will shatter and the world will be destroyed. Tongshan Master's eyes flash. Oh, so it's you, Zhanti friend. Heard you arrived as well. Wonder what wisdom you can share. Patriarch Bodhi remains seated, wearing his 3-star crown. Yet, his voice pierces the 9 heavens. It's not complicated. The strength of our Tao is too great. This arena can't handle the real body. Since our true form can't descend, then. Tongshan Elder understood. From afar, he called out, Thanks for the insight, old friend. Without hesitation, he strikes his own forehead with his palm and instantly severs the good corpse, one of his 3 avatars. That's much better. Patriarch Bodhi laughs heartily. With your cultivation, who needs a good corpse? A thought current avatar will suffice. Last match, Patriarch Bodhi did exactly that. But Tongshan Master, to be safe, still preferred caution. After all, Patriarch Bodhi fought Thor, and the 3 gods in this round are on a totally different tier. Finally, after silence at Heaven's Gate, a surge of primordial purple aura bursts out, with billions watching. The purple aura turns into a floating duckweed, gently landing on the arena. At last, it's spread out. The duckweed settles. A green robe materializes,
It's a Taoist of unmatched arrogance.
seemingly possessing power to touch the heavens. When his gaze falls on Su Ming, he can't help but show a kind smile. Turns out it's really true. Su Ming suddenly felt nervous. Ling Bao Tianzun, Tongshan Master, why is he looking at me that way? Whether in the parallel world, or here among the 3 pure ones, he is the supreme deity. This supreme is truly unparalleled. The Huaxia people dare not speak carelessly, only whispering doubts in their hearts. Tongshan Master fits the image of a Tao ancestor perfectly, but always adheres to the soul principle. This one's power should be below Patriarch Bodhi. But unfortunately, there's no sense of oppression from this great master. Even though his entrance was impressive, it's not quite what was expected. That's human nature. People always try to judge things with their own assumptions ahead of time. But right then, young Eagle, Sheila, and young Tianju all felt their blood surge within them, as if a divine entity resided deep in their souls, pressing on them so much they could hardly breathe. What is going on? I just had a thought to slander him. It felt like something was entangling me. An ominous, unsettling feeling. The scariest thing is, their thoughts seem to be suppressed by something. What exactly did the Eastern gods do to us? Weren't we told the influence of gods in the ring wouldn't affect us much? What on earth is this? Gods can actually ignore the rules? That's just terrifying. Of course, the Grandmaster Tongshan didn't actually do anything. He just stood there. But Su Ming knew very well. The mythic arena could indeed limit the gods' power, but it couldn't restrain cause and effect. From the moment the Grandmaster Tongshan arrived, karma was already set in motion. all because he deliberately avoided the Chinese characters. A Tao ancestor this strong and unbeatable, yet so considerate. I could cry from how moved I am. As the only person able to communicate with the gods, Su Ming wouldn't dare to slack off even a little. Grandmaster Tongshan respectfully bowed immediately. Disciple is full of fear and trepidation. Forgive me for disturbing you, Venerable One. I hope the Venerable One won't hold it against me. But to Su Ming's surprise, Grandmaster Tongshan spoke. Little Wang, do you know how much face you have? You alarmed my senior brother. If it weren't for my senior brother's request, there's no way I would have come to Zhenjing. But Su Ming dared not hesitate. He hurriedly gave thanks. This disciple deserves 1,000 deaths. Sorry to trouble you both, venerable ones. Enough, enough. I came down to the mortal world this time, with some personal matters as well. Once this is over, I'll grant you a blessing. Listening to the conversation between the elder in the green robe and Su Ming, the audience erupted in jeers. How is he so sure? He'll walk off the arena alive? Such unfounded confidence. Just watch my India. Before the mythic words finished, the western heavenly gate opened. 3 gods manifested one after another. A Buddha's golden body, boundless as the Tao, snatched straight into the arena. Instantly, Sanskrit chants echoed in the heavens. Amitabha Buddha, 6th of the 7 Buddhas of the past. Kashyapa Buddha descends. All sentient beings have a pure nature. From the beginning, there is neither birth nor destruction. Buddhist scriptures flowed from the Buddha's golden body. Endless Sanskrit transformed into runes, drifting down. Finally, from the rain of runes, the true Buddha emerged. He wore blazing flames atop his head, carried a ghostly lotus on his shoulder, a compassionate sage, seated upon the lotus throne, with 2 golden moles between his eyebrows. The first to arrive was the Buddha himself. As soon as the Buddha appeared, that suffocating feeling instantly disappeared. The Indians were thrilled, feeling like they could drop to their knees and start chanting. My Buddha is merciful. Wherever the Buddha's light shines, all suffering can be dispelled. How I wish the Buddha's light could shine on me forever. The young Indian prayed devoutly. Though Brahmanism is the main faith in India, and more people worship Vishnu, the shock brought by Kashyapa Buddha was absolutely comparable to the 3 main deities. Wait, I just realized something. The Buddha advocates compassion and not killing living beings, so doesn't that mean... It's fine, the Buddha doesn't need to fight. Just being here to hold down the fort is enough. Supporting the fight instead of landing the final blow isn't considered killing. If that doesn't work, he could also try converting the Grandmaster with Buddhist teachings. Indian netizens kept chatting to themselves, while the Chinese side was erupting as well. I'm not trying to hype up the opposition, but this Buddha really looks pretty intimidating. Of course, with the golden body manifested, how could he not be imposing? I wonder if Grandmaster Tongshan can manifest as well. You can lose the fight, but you can't lose the momentum. Everyone watched the Grandmaster Tongshan, waiting to see how he'd respond. But Kashyapa Buddha was the first to open his eyes. 2 beams of golden light shot into the sky. He gently spoke. Amitabha Buddha, I do not kill living beings. You're on your own. When he got to the word, Kashyapa Buddha suddenly paused. He didn't say the punchline. It's you. With those words, the entire place was stunned. What did the Buddha mean by that? Does he know Grandmaster Tongshan? The eastern and western god realms have long been isolated. Aside from Shakyamuni spreading the Dharma eastward, Western gods couldn't possibly know Eastern gods. The Indians were shocked. The Chinese were even more shocked. Secrets, absolute secrets. Everyone from China suddenly felt a surge of hope. If even the Buddha is surprised, Grandmaster Tongshan must not be ordinary. Looking at Grandmaster Tongshan instead, he was already sitting firmly on the ring. Even his casual aura could manifest a Dharma body. In the battles of gods, a Dharma body is a symbol of status. The image of Grandmaster Tongshan instantly soared in the hearts of the Chinese people. Facing the golden Buddha before him, the Grandmaster Tongshan grew joyful. This trip was worth it. Absolutely worth it. Any Western god would do. But it's a Buddha that showed up. How can I not make the most of this? The 3 pure ones founded Taoism and follow the natural Tao. If not for that philosophy, Shakyamuni would have been kicked out of the East by the 3 pure ones as soon as he entered. No chance to preach at all. But over the years, he had grown to dislike the ways of the Buddhist sect, always talking about great mercy and compassion. Yet aside from collecting human merit, which of their eyes have seen the people's suffering? A bunch of hypocrites. For the sake of peace in the six realms, they couldn't attack Lingshan. But now was the perfect chance to settle scores at the hospital. Grandmaster Tongshan didn't bother asking how the other knew him, since as one of the leading gods of the Eastern realm, it made sense for his reputation to reach the West. Western Buddha, do you dare repeat what you just said? Grandmaster Tongshan remained unmoved. Tao energy steadily surged forth, with a momentum that seemed to reach the heavens. Moments later, Chinese viewers showed their double standards. Holy crap, damn. This is worthy of Grandmaster Tongshan, threatening the Buddha right from the start. The level of coolness is off the charts. Still maybe not as awesome as Patriarch Bodhi, but it feels impressive. Su Ming curled his lips into a slight smile. He wasn't worried the Grandmaster couldn't beat the Buddha. He just feared he wouldn't be interested. But now it looks like there's some excitement. Kashyapa Buddha pressed one palm to his chest, and with an "Ami," tried to ease the ominous feeling. He didn't know Grandmaster Tongshan, but remembered that when sharing Buddhist insight with Shakyamuni, he mentioned the Eastern heavens had 3 transcendent immortals. They called them sages. Shakyamuni had spoken this very solemnly, and warned him seriously not to provoke the trio known as the 3 Pure Ones. Long, in the unseen realm, Kashyapa Buddha's wheel of samsara trembled violently, which meant the man before him was likely one of the 3 Pure Ones. Amitabha. Shakyamuni once said the Eastern gods are arrogant and full of themselves. Especially the stronger they are, the more lawless they become. Looks like he wasn't wrong. Kashyapa Buddha openly provokes. He puts his palms together, radiates Buddha's light. Buddha Kashyapa doesn't dare act rashly. But he's waiting. The Tongshan sect leader only smirks with disdain. He actually seems even more excited. Turns out Tathagata really dares to say anything. If Tathagata found out Kashyapa sold him out, I wonder what he'd think. Mythical arena. The Valkyrie has already stepped down. This fight doesn't need a referee. He admits he's not qualified to judge. How do these gods want to fight? When do they want to start? Let them do as they please. Even though neither has made a move, they just sit facing each other, creating a perfectly balanced standoff. It drives countless Chinese fans wild. Tongshan can keep his cool even under Buddha's pressure. No doubt about it. He's definitely Tao ancestor level. At the very least, he's quasi-Tao ancestor. By the way, does our mythology have a power ranking? Like the Western gods with first, second, third tiers? Main gods, god kings, supreme beings. Yeah, seriously, it's already chapter 66. And I still don't get the power scale. So annoying. So Chinese fans started an online poll to decide the most reasonable ranking for Eastern gods. Word gets to Su Mingji. This is what he says. It's hard to clarify the exact levels, but just remember one thing. There's only one creator god. The creator god is Pangyu, so that means Bodhi Patriarch is second tier. Even if the Tongshan sect leader is on the same level as Bodhi Patriarch, that's still second tier. They're up against 3 first-tier opponents. Is there really any chance of winning? It's true, Tongshan isn't the creator god, but who says you can't be first tier, even if you're not the creator god? Listen up. There's a saying, the rest are all ants beneath the sage. Whether it's before the primordial era or after creation, sages are the highest level. But what Su Ming doesn't know is, the Tongshan in front of him is just a temporary good corpse incarnation. But even so, it's enough to handle the Western trio. Suddenly, the word sage sweeps the whole internet. Even the entire world. Sages are the strongest? Let me ask a question. Is Bodhi Patriarch a sage? Isn't that obvious? Beating a god king is like slicing vegetables. Most online discussion is whether a sage fights Western supremes as an equal or a superior. Su Ming doesn't want to explain further. Even if the whole internet flames him, even if readers curse him out,
Even if he jumps off from here,
it's still the same answer. Sages are the top. Tongshan isn't rushing to attack. Instead, he's very curious about this arena.
he murmurs to himself.
I created 1,000 Taos, cultivated 3,000 Taos, once vowed for perfection in the Tao. but always felt something was missing. Now that I think about it, maybe it's a Western Tao. After some thought, Tongshan's eyes flash gold. The killing intent dormant for tens of thousands of years ignites. Buddhas cultivate the law of past life cycles. Masters at deducing karma. Just a moment ago, an inexplicable karmic force appeared, and it's truly ominous. He thought he'd just come to collect some resentment, but didn't expect they'd send all three supremes. What a bad spot to be in. Xuanji Buddha points a finger, straight at the sky. You two should come down. Don't keep our Eastern friends waiting. Supreme gods like you don't need summoners to call you. You can descend whenever you want. All of a sudden, a tremor shakes the sky. The heavens shatter, revealing a pitch-black abyss. Suddenly, demonic energy appears. The vast void turns dry and eerie. All things ominous take form here. It's the Asura clan. To be precise, it's the Asura king, said to be the cruelest and mightiest demon in all of the underworld. Enemies of the gods, whether it's true or not. The Asura king once conquered the entire heavens. If not for the great Master Pyo intervening, no one could have stopped him. Among the people of ancient India, the Asura king is a demon who makes people want to attack just by looking at him. Guys, don't be like that. If the Asura king fights for us, then right now he's our great deity. Besides, legends aren't always true. Don't be so prejudiced. Rahula has a terrifying reputation and is every Indian's nightmare. But on the Chinese side, people are fascinated watching Rahu, the abyssal demon ancestor. The flower cultivators are still hopeful. They think it's the legendary demon ancestor from folklore. But the moment that terrifying creature emerged from the abyss, they were disappointed.
He was crimson all over, trampling on red clouds.
Covered with black beads and savage beast markings. Just standing there was enough to make people's hearts tremble, even though he shares the same name. I'm certain this Luobio is not that Luobio.
He's not our charming demon clan.
Even so, the flower cultivators are willing to believe that China has its own Luo Hu, and he's 9 feet tall, holding a world-ending black lotus, intimidating the 9 netherworlds. It's better if they're not the same. Otherwise, how could our Tongshan sect leader cope? The flower cultivators actually felt relieved. After all, in the novel, demon ancestor Luo Hu is almost the foremost entity of chaos and the abyss, showing his form on the arena. Luo Hu opened his bloody mouth, pointed straight at Tongshan. These mortals are more and more disappointing. You summoned me just to fight an old man? Demon camel. Ha ha ha. Don't you avoid killing? Leave these bloody and violent actions to me. The Asura king is wild, continuously licking the blood of gods from his mouth. This made the compassionate Kashyapa nearby very embarrassed. Before Lord Luo Chuan descended, did he maybe eat a god? That's not good. It's one thing for Buddha to ignore affairs, but there's another god you must remember, the supreme creator god, one of the Trimurti, Lord Vishnu. It's said that since Brahma created the world, Vishnu has protected both Brahma and all the gods of heaven. This Asura king really fears nobody except the grand priestess, treats everyone else like nothing. Even Lord Vishnu is present. In the hearts of the people of India, the Asura king is on par with Indra, lord of heaven and earth. Indra is Brahma's son, so neither is truly supreme. Fears neither heaven nor earth. That's Lord Rikshasa. Luo Hu was slightly stunned. Oh, I didn't expect I'd have followers too. Tongshan was calm at first, planning to wait until all three arrived, then have them attack together. But upon hearing Luo Hu's arrogant tone, he couldn't sit still. If you ask who's the wildest of the 3 realms and 6 paths, who doesn't know me, Tongshan? If not for elder brother Taisheng urging me to cultivate my heart, you'd have died 100 times already. Tongshan's sect leader slowly opened his mouth, little demon. My original name is Lingbao. Do you know why I changed it to Tongshan? Luo Hu burst out laughing. You old thing, how dare you question me? Tongshan's lips curled slightly, and said to himself, it's because Lingbao is too benevolent, not convenient for me to do evil. With a thunderous palm, he struck at the void where Luo Hu stood. Heaven and earth spun. Countless pieces of the sky collapsed. He altered the order, isolated that piece of void, and filled it with Tongshan's Tao techniques. Luo Hu clearly knew the opponent would be furious, so he prepared in advance. Just in time. But as soon as he finished speaking, Luo Hu fearfully discovered. The 8 directions of the sky pressing on him were a problem. He couldn't break through any of it. It was as if he'd been locked in a dark room. Buddha Kashyapa wanted to help, but after some thought, he instinctively jumped away. Because his ability is sword control? Sure enough, the moment he jumped, the old ancestor Tongshan waved his hand, sending Luo Hu flying to the edge of the arena. This day's events made everyone anxious. The flower cultivators froze for half a second, before exclaiming, "Whoa!" all over the screen. I'm sure I'm not dreaming. A quasi-supreme Asura king was sent flying by Tongshan sect leader with 1 palm. Yes, it wasn't 3 palms, not 2 palms, just 1 palm. Such an explosive scene of deification. Can I really watch this for free? Even the summoner Su Ming hadn't expected. Everyone beneath the sages are like ants. It's true, they're fucking ants. Little India doesn't want to accept this fact. It was a sneak attack. Lord Luo Hu got caught off guard, so he didn't dodge. Damn, starting with a sneak attack before the fight even began. Eastern gods have no sense of honor. However, only Luo Hu knows how strange this guy's methods are. Yes, they're just odd methods. Doesn't mean he's that strong. Luo Hu can't accept it. How could someone so used to victory accept this? You're really getting my blood boiling. Come again. Little India is cheering like crazy. I remember now. Lord Luo Chuan has the kind of physique that gets stronger the more he fights.
He didn't even warm up just now.
That's why he was knocked away. But right at this moment, a majestic voice descended from the heavenly gate. No need to guess, it's definitely the recognized, publicly acknowledged, second only in strength to the grand priestess among the Trimurti, Lord Vishnu. Life or death, it's always a troubling issue. As a maintainer of the world, I finally figured it out. Eastern God, I'll let you face death. With brief heavenly music, the light of revelation shines over the entire arena. Under the curtain of light, a god seated on a lotus platform appears, with a compassionate expression. 4 arms, each holding a magical implement. Brahma creates, Shiva destroys. And Vishnu is the guardian of balance, the divine guardian, maintainer of all craftsmanship in the world. The radiant glow in that curtain of light feels like a blessing from the gods. Indians feel refreshed just by looking, and that everything in the world feels beautiful. Everything feels perfect. The most flawless god in my heart. No question about it. Lord Vishnu not only possesses immense divine power, but is also the most handsome god of the legend of Dido. Before now, most believed the stories beautified Vishnu, but now he really is handsome. Maybe the grand priestess is the strongest and the most dignified. But speaking of popular faith, Vishnu is most deserving of first place. My Lord Vishnu, your arrival will make this fight meaningless. You are the invincible god, the supreme symbol, invincible though Brahma lost. But little India thinks Brahma is the god of creation, not suited for killing, and was defeated by a miracle, not by Eastern gods. Lord Vishnu will surely make Eastern gods feel despair again. Vishnu holds the wheel, looking peaceful, staring at Tongshan sect leader. Comfortable flow Mara slaying. Brahma himself, for all beings, presides over justice. Brahma is one of the Trimurti, his justice. Only I can judge it. It's obvious Vishnu descended this time, for just one reason, to avenge Brahma, to maintain the dignity of the divine realm. Tongshan sect leader sits firm on the platform, and notices the strongest has arrived too. But his first reaction is disappointment, because he hoped this Western supreme god would be a bit stronger. Still not enough. I want to refine a Western Tao with the divinity of you 3. I'm afraid it's still not enough. The Tongshan sage sighed. But even a little is still something. Let's take it first and discuss later. Refine the Western Tao. What is the Tongshan sage talking about? Is it what I think it means? Like refining a spirit within a weapon, to seal someone away forever. I couldn't tell if Tongshan sage was crazy, or if he truly had this ability. Luo Hu still refused to admit it up to now. He burst out laughing. He's mine? No one is allowed to take him from me. A great Asura manifestation suddenly erupted behind Luo Hu, standing between heaven and earth. The surrounding space crackled violently. Countless elements hadn't yet been drained, before being sucked in wildly. I let my guard down and fell for your trick. But now it's time for payback. Vishnu sighed helplessly. He disdained working with others, so let him play all he wants first. He turned to look at Kashyapa. Buddha, with you here, regarding this battle, what have you seen? Buddha Kashyapa's heart skipped a beat. He did see something, but that trace of fate had yet to manifest. Already shrouded in a layer of gloom, what he wanted to say was, I can't see through this old Taoist. But for the sake of face, he still smiled and said, Karma and reincarnation. All suffer retribution. I believe Lord Narayan sees things even clearer than I do. Vishnu laughed. The truth is, his divine sword persona saw only emptiness. To be cautious.
He sought the sword master's opinion.
If he didn't see any signs of disaster, then he could act boldly. Su Ming noticed something. He didn't expect the supreme deity of India to appear so arrogant externally, but actually be so cautious. But trying to outwit a sage is a serious mistake. A mere divine sword dares to peek into a sage's destiny. What a joke. Vishnu is definitely the strongest among the Western gods present, yet Master Tongshan still has to take on 3 at once. What enormous pressure. Yet looking at Master Tongshan's face, not a hint of panic could be seen. Compared to Patriarch Bodhi's reservedness, Tongshan's wildness is even more charismatic. In other words, even more captivating. Just as this was said, in the arena, Luo, who had already unleashed terrifying demonic power, instantly reversing the situation, he roared out a phrase, Shura domain. Shura judgment. Countless Rakshasa shadows layered upon each other, ready to engulf the eastern deity. Crap, Luo, who went all out right away. The sage is still sitting on that platform. Hasn't reacted yet? In almost an instant, the small space turned into a living hell. Even if Tongshan's sage wanted to dodge, it's already too late. Little Tianju grinned and said, according to the legend of Catastrophe Buddha, once covered by the Shura domain, any being will be bound by Shura power, unable to move. All their divine power will be drained. Originally, this old Doe still had a chance. Too bad he didn't dodge. Everyone from Hua heard and went. What's my sage doing? Why isn't he dodging? Is it really necessary? In that split second, Tongshan sage extended his thick arm. The so-called domain shackles shattered like broken ice. Bang with just one hand. He clamped Luohu's head on the spot. That tide-like Shura power was instantly absorbed by Tongshan sage. A terrifying scene unfolded. Tongshan sage, in front of all humankind, even under the gaze of the 2 Indian supremes, held Luohu up by the head with one hand. I thought you were at the great Luo golden immortal level, but apparently you're not. You're not even qualified for a sacrificial offering. He casually tossed him aside. Throwing Luohu to one side, slowly stood up. With a small surge of power, destruction ensued. The power of the heavens was depleted in an instant, and began to flow backward. A tremendous force gathered. Kashyapa and Vishnu, who watched from the side, finally felt the pressure. Cornered, Luohu was overwhelmed with shame and unwillingness. Great Luo Golden Immortal. Great Luo Golden Immortal. What kind of level is that? He didn't know the Eastern cultivator ranks, but he knew his opponent could easily kill him. Easier than killing an ant. Little Tianju, on the other hand, handled it well. Lord Luochuan will never submit like this. It's said that after being defeated 99 times, he'll awaken as the king of Asuras at full strength. At that point, he'll slay gods in his way. And even the Buddha won't stop him. He wouldn't fear even Master Dacian. But at this moment, Luo, who had lost all fighting spirit. And anyway, what kind of rubbish rumor is this? No way, not going. Too scared, too scared. But Su Ming sent a voice message to the sage. May Dao ancestor take action and kill. Only one side can leave the arena alive. Maybe Su Ming's understanding is limited. Unclear if the mythic arena can restrain a sage. So he said this. Tongshan sage thought it made sense. After all, it's just a poetic phrase from him. Still a bit short of the sage's cultivation level. Afraid it's not enough to resist the rules of this mysterious space. Since they're on someone else's turf, they'll follow the rules. Just catching his breath, Luohu suddenly saw a giant hand flying out. Oh my god, covering the sky with one hand. And there was fire in the palm. This is the chaos flame, able to melt anything, including past and present lives. Luohu trembled all over. gripped by inner terror, with despair he'd never felt before. No doubt about it. This is a death warning. From entering until now, there have only been 2 exchanges, and he's already about to die. Oh right, Tongshan sage said they wanted to sacrifice him. Probably means using a god's body to refine his Tao magic. Normally, sacred treasures are used for this sort of thing. But now they're directly using a god king. At that moment, Vishnu and Buddha Kashyapa looked at each other. Almost at the same time, Western Chaos Treasure, Divine Sword Wheel. Chaos Treasure. It's actually a glazed lamp. Both exhibited their divine power and charged at Tongshan Sage. They finally made their move. The 2 supremes released their primal chaos powers to save Luohu. On the Chinese side, a sense of doom filled the air. Vishnu might be the sage mentioned by the summoner. After all, he's the top god of India, so he should correspond to the highest realm. Tongshan Sage is strong, but it's not certain he's the strongest in China. For the moment, all the Chinese were anxious for Tongshan Sage. Not only can the inner divine sword wheel perceive yin and yang, and foresee the future, it's also a weapon powerful enough to destroy the world. Everywhere he passed, the void collapsed, only to be restored again, ruined and restored over and over, repeating endlessly, as if creating a river of time, casting the Lord Tongshan into eternal exile within it. In the world of the divine sword wheel, Lord Tongshan showed no sign of panic. Instead, he began to study Vishnu's protective power and the Buddhist mysteries of the past Buddha of the West. As expected, my 3,000 great Taos are still incomplete. With the time flow in the river of time sped up 1,000-fold, Lord Tongshan offered no resistance and quietly sat down. Since you want to watch, then let me show you the face of this supreme one. The divine sword wheel combined with the pure world glazed lamp could never truly restrain him. But at this very moment, Lord Tongshan seemed to sense a hint of destiny. Yet all the spectators thought he was about to surrender. It seems only a supreme god can handle him. 1 supreme and 1 chaos artifact each. It's already lucky he wasn't smashed to death. The dignity of our Indian supreme god cannot be shaken by anyone, not even an Eastern saint. With the concepts of saints and Hunyuan golden immortals introduced, many believe both Tongshan and Bodhi are saints. Once your cultivation reaches this level, belief in Waxia would collapse. If the Lord is truly a saint and is still suppressed by the Supreme of the West, then who in Waxia could stand above them? Nonsense, he's just being restrained. It's not like he actually lost. Look, the Lord isn't flustered at all. He must be preparing some big move. Have a little faith, will you? In fact, Vishnu and Jayashri never planned to kill Tongshan with a single blow. What you're witnessing now is the strongest crowd control skill by gods and Buddhas combined. Buddha Kashyapa smiled. Didn't expect the Lord and I to think the same thing. It's rare for the East to produce such a powerful individual. I am truly curious about his background, because what Shakyamuni said was just so enigmatic. He claimed that before the Eastern world's chaos was opened, the first strand of ki was born in heaven and earth. After countless ages, that single ki became 3. The pure ki then formed the 3 strongest deities in the East. Frankly, I don't buy it. Buddha Kashyapa joined his palms together and murmured amidst thunder and lightning. Fragments flashed through his mind. These were the memories of Lord Tongshan. No one could peek into them, so anything visible was what Lord Tongshan deliberately revealed. In the river of time, Lord Tongshan's appearance became younger as time rewound, gradually turning youthful. Bits and pieces of Lord Tongshan's autobiography began to unfold. At the dawn of chaos, Tanyu split heaven and earth and created the primordial world. Here I awakened my spirit, took form from Ki, and finally attained the rank of great Tao Saint, standing alongside 2 elder brothers as fellow teachers, and teaching the Tao to disciples all over the world. But unfortunately, my 2 elder brothers had vastly different philosophies. They claimed the teachings should be passed only to humankind, the most sentient beings. But under my Tao, I never cared whether one was fur, feathers, or scales. Even the soft-hearted or dull-witted, everyone can learn without discrimination. All can cultivate the Tao. Lord Tongshan is not human, nor is he a god, but rather the first strand of ki transformed at the beginning of the world. Originally, I thought we'd get a chance to really learn about this elder's path to immortality. Never expected it to be so mind-blowing. The memories are just fragments, thoughts splattered into everyone's minds. There's no picture, but it's truly shocking. Sadly, these memories are incomplete, so we can't fully understand him. Getting to see anything at all is already great. And you're still hoping for more? To see through a saint now, that's a dangerous idea, simply because he was born from primordial chaos. Next, what Lord Tongshan wanted the world to see was actually the Great Investiture War. Oh my god, what on earth got into my mind? The battle between gods could be this fierce. All of China was shocked, and Westerners were utterly baffled. I've heard of wars between gods and demons, but never seen such a massive clash just among gods. Chinese deities are seriously ruthless, especially those memory fragments, which also revealed that Lord Tongshan was one of the masterminds behind this investiture war. Wait a second. I just remembered the summoner called him the Tao ancestor of the three purities. And now we know the Lord has two elder brothers, all deities born from the very dawn of chaos. So doesn't that mean China once had three saints? The summoner was right. Below saints, all are but ants. It's true. The fragmented memories convey so much. It gets your blood pumping just listening to it. The celestial court must be established. 365 true gods are desperately needed to govern the three realms. Though I was unwilling to participate in the investiture ceremony, I was still forced to sign the gods' register, so I warned my disciples. As long as they stayed in secluded cultivation, they could avoid being killed and enshrined among the gods. However, I had countless disciples, and many of them were not easily restrained by my rules. By nature, some were also incited by a certain rebellious disciple. Ultimately, they still got swept into this unprecedented investiture war. The investiture war began. Numerous disciples from my sect died or were gravely injured. Plus, the Chan sect continuously attacked my Jijiao sect. I just couldn't sit still anymore. High above the ninth heaven, I laid down the immortal execution and myriad immortal formations. I invited all the sages to join this grand event. This included my two senior brothers as well. The memory fragments suddenly sensed the sky going dark. Light flickered in and out. What is that? It felt like someone slashed me. So painful, the immortal execution array, not the myriad immortal formation. I was so engrossed. I ended up being drawn into the formation. What a terrifying killing array. It can even kill sages. The people from the West were even more shaken. The one fighting all the gods alone in the memory fragments. Was it really him? No, these memories must be fabricated, just trying to scare us. If he was really that powerful, not just Lord Vishnu, even our entire celestial realm would have been overturned by him. So bluntly honest, TCH. I'm a celestial clan member. How could I praise the gods of another country? That's where the memory fragment ends. But time still passes 1,000 times faster along the river of time. The face of Master Tongshan has also undergone a tremendous change. He looks so young now, truly drop-dead gorgeous, and he carries a grand destiny that could shake the world. But no one lingered on Master Tongshan's youthful face for long, because at that moment, Master Tongshan had already opened his tranquil eyes. When twin golden beams pierced through space, Vishnu, Kapapa, and the trembling Rahu nearby all felt an unprecedented shiver deep in their souls. The secrets of heaven must not be revealed. Since you've come this far, do you wish to try out the immortal execution array? Master Tongshan is so handsome. A Tao ancestor San can easily change their own appearance. But at this moment, he really does look like his younger self. It really is what Master Tongshan looked like when he was young. Honestly, none of our Waxia deities is anything but good looking. Monkey King, Lord Zhang, Li Bai, they're all stunningly handsome. What do you mean by that? Did you eat Patriarch Bodhi or something? That was awkward. Mostly because we've never seen what Patriarch Bodhi looked like when he was young. So what? Are you saying the Patriarch isn't handsome when he's older? Meanwhile, Master Tongshan pointed his finger, gathering thousands of rays of celestial light. Vishnu and Tabhyapa, number one to their supreme in India. At least in terms of divine power, they're nothing like King Asura Rahu. But Vishnu was shocked. With just the power of the two of us, We reconstructed the river of time and restored his youthful appearance. Logically speaking, his strength should have regressed too. But watching him point his finger, celestial light topples over everything. Is this really the kind of power a young man should have? Su Ming just smiled. Does anyone really think Master Tongshan wasn't fierce when he was young? For Master Tongshan, good looks and a pleasant voice are just his outer shell. Still, thanks to you two, I've remembered this appearance. Master Tongshan instantly grasped the universe in his hand. Countless rays of celestial light fell and formed an array. The space where Vishnu, Kablapa, and Rahu were trapped turned into a world of its own. They were trapped. A battle of the highest level. They were shifted to the outer realms. The space of the mythic starring arena seemed endless. Within the star domain lay countless mountains. Each mountain was as large as a continent. Yet at that moment, the very fabric of the arena was rapidly reinforced, bearing immense, terrifying pressure. It's the immortal execution sword. Endless rays of celestial light, ever-changing beyond comprehension. The galactic expanse of the outer realm was flipped upside down. A majestic divine sword came rushing in against all odds, piercing a corner of the celestial light barrier. Just a single glance at that divine sword was enough to make one's soul ache. This sword is called the Immortal Execution. Its target is immortals. Thankfully, we're just mortals. Otherwise, a single glance could make us explode. People from China felt a chill in their hearts. The Indian audience stammered in terror. I have a bad feeling about this. Have you noticed? When Lord Buddha and Kebiopi threw out their divine artifacts, they were still within the same space. But when this Eastern sage summoned the immortal execution sword, the scene shifted in an instant. Now it's at the star domain level. How strong do sages really have to be? Su Ming sighed. During the investiture war, sages really held back. Actually, it wasn't that sages were holding back. It's that the orderly Tao of China heavily suppressed their power. That's why the combat power of sages and golden immortals was capped at the level of 1,000 great mountains. But in the mythic starring arena, it stretches to the interstellar level. You can think of it as the difference between high and low dimensional realms.
Even Tongshan was surprised.
Didn't expect I'd be this strong in this world. It's unimaginable how many immortals this array killed back in the day. But what the crowd didn't know was, this wasn't the full immortal execution array. The complete immortal execution array had the 4 disciples of Master Tongshan, each guarding a formation entrance, with his true body overseeing the core. If not for sentiment toward his sect, those 2 senior brothers would probably have fallen there. At that moment, everyone across the world was fixated on the mythic starring arena. This fight is especially critical. It's about who stands higher, the Supreme of the West or the Sage of the East. This battle would decide who was truly stronger. Vishnu made the first strike. The upper left arm transformed into 88 lotus petals, shielding his form, while the lower right arm hurled a gold scepter. It instantly turned into endless karmic power. The Supreme Creator God, no less. Lord Vishnu is making his move. Indians' hearts skipped a beat. Lord Vishnu had always appeared benevolent and calm. He hadn't shown anger for thousands of years. This time, he was truly furious. Look, what is that? A giant so enormous, it knows no bounds. As big as the stars themselves, with wild, unkempt hair, and a face full of fangs. If you didn't know any better, you'd think it was one of the Asura tribe. The Indian scholars immediately recognized it. It's Vishnu, the Lord's evil avatar Narasimha. He has the power to destroy the entire celestial realm. Only the Trimurti can calm his rage. Everyone knows, when the supreme god of India gets angry, he becomes gigantic, thus splitting into his strongest battle form. According to Vedic legend, the great guru fought with the celestial Asura all over the heavens. It's rare for Vishnu to act, but that doesn't mean he's weak. On the contrary, when the great guru and Brahma fought, he was the one who broke up the fight. Only he could split them up. The Chinese crowd suddenly realized. Now it makes sense. The mythic arena strength threshold. It's set according to the standards of the Tianju gods. Their gods love to brag. They threaten to destroy the universe at the drop of a hat. Or destroy the sun. No wonder the moment Tongshan ancestor made a move, he was completely baffled. It's like a college student doing elementary school homework. Of course he'd go crazy. Oh no, what's that monster doing? He looks like he's dancing. Little Tianju is totally excited. That's not just an ordinary dance. It's the dance of destruction. If he finishes the dance, the entire universe will be destroyed. Suddenly, the moment the second Juxian sword of the execution immortal formation falls, a split off of lost news evil consciousness bites down on it, trying to swallow it whole. Even Buddha Kashyapa can't sit still anymore. He can't let him complete this formation. Otherwise, it'll be big trouble. He believes the Tongshan master isn't actually that strong himself, but is relying on the execution immortal formation. If they can stop him from setting up the formation, this battle would be easily won. As he spoke, Buddha's golden body multiplied 10,000 times, grabbing the Shanshan sword with one hand. There are still 2 swords left. Let me handle them. Luohu let out a furious roar, his form transforming, all his flesh turning into molten magma. But his divine power is too weak, so he can only take the sword on by himself. He blocks the Juexian sword with his chest. Hurry, I can't hold on much longer. Hurry up and kill him. Luohu is risking his life to buy time for the 2 supremes. The people of Tianju are in tears. We wrongly blamed the Asura king. The Asura king was careless. Of the 4 Juxian swords, only 1 managed to return to its place. Taking this chance, Vishnu and Buddha Kashyapa has no more reservations. Finally stops hiding his true power. Meanwhile, Tongshan master just gives Luohu a slight nod. If you have guts, come join my G sect as my disciple. I'll take you in for now. With that, he pushes with one hand, forcing the 2 supremes out of the Milky Way. Then he makes another move, instantly slapping Luohu into a cloud of bloody mist. The last wisp of his soul essence is grabbed and collected by Tongshan master. The people of Tianju have never seen such brutality. Their hearts freeze with shock. We just started to worship the great Asura king. Then he suddenly goes out like this. He didn't even complete the execution immortal formation. So, how could Luohu be killed so easily? No one wants to believe what just happened. Little Tianju is about to have a breakdown. Tongshan ancestors' strength was never just about the execution immortal formation. Did you guys hear that? The ancestor wants to accept Luohu as his disciple. Those who bow to another god can leave the arena alive. So, that's why Tongshan ancestor smacked Luohu until only his soul was left. That way he can take him back to the eastern realm. But no one understands. Tongshan ancestor is a saint, yet wants to take a western demon as a disciple. I see, it's not for anything else. But for that saying, teaching knows no boundaries. This move by the ancestor just happens to make up for the lack of Luohu in Eastern mythology. I'm really curious. If there's nothing left but dust, is it really possible to revive him? Have faith in the same. I remember reading a novel once. Can't remember the author. Where a body was pieced together out of lotus roots, and the soul is just placed inside. They say once revived, the lotus root body is even stronger than before. Looks like lotus really is a great thing. The sword immortal was revived with a green lotus as well. As descendants of China, we sincerely welcome Luohu to join the Eastern Pantheon. But little Tianju isn't too happy about that. No, we can't lose Luo Chuan. Just like the West can't lose Jerusalem, Vishnu feels the same way.
Snatching away a Western god right in front of the Creator
is a tremendous insult. Buddha, you go first. I'll back you up. Vishnu retreats a step, letting the Buddha's golden body stand in front. Kashyapa's face stiffens. The golden Buddha slaps down with a giant hand. 10,000 Buddha's pagoda. In an instant, golden light floods out. Within the incomplete execution immortal formation, Buddha's light creates a field of pure land ready to swallow all. Shakyamuni says you're very strong, and you show no respect for Buddha at all. If you were to fight, he'd only win by 5 points out of 10. So the other 5 points, I'll make up for. Buddha Kashyapa sets aside his former humility. When the Buddha is angry, endless cycles of reincarnation. Even though the Chinese are intimidated by this aura, they still have to say what needs to be said. Apparently, our Buddha has a close relationship with the West. So you're saying Buddha could go toe-to-toe with Tongshan ancestor? I don't know about that. But as far as I understand, Kashyapa fills in the other 5 points. and the remainder would be up to Vishnu. So it's basically a 2-on-1. In a sense, he already admits he can't take on the ancestor alone. Well said. No matter how powerful the execution immortal formation is, our ancestor is still invincible. But as soon as that was said, the immortal light became violent in an instant. Suddenly, billions of sword lights rise up. With Tongshan Master's movement, everything follows, crushing even the Buddha's light. Tongshan Master looks up with a cold sneer. Not bad. Though you're not saints, you still have some quasi-saint power. I'll use you for my ritual refining. The Western path isn't too shabby after all. Dragon's celestial voice turns into endless Taoist rituals, once again collapsing the void. Everyone's hearts are shaken. Is quasi-saint really just below saint? Did I hear that right? The Western top gods are only quasi-saints? Even Su Ming is stunned. If you really examine Tongshan ancestor, you'll find that calling him a quasi-saint is already overselling it.
He might just be half a step into the quasi-saint realm.
Or at the peak of Daluo. For a moment, the whole Chinese nation is thrilled. Everyone's madly flooding the chat with sixes. It's settled Tongshan ancestor is a saint, and the Western supreme is a quasi-saint. Both are called supremes, but Eastern and Western deities are a whole realm apart. How embarrassing for them. What are they supposed to fight with? Little Tianju takes it all in stride, just listening to one side's story. I could just as easily say the ones from the other side are D-rank gods. Talk is cheap. Only a fight proves anything. But before he could finish, Tongshan Master took a step and shouted, "Great Tao of heaven and earth! All heavens in one breath, bow to my command! Execution immortal formation, arise!" Just with a simple incantation, the Juxian, Luxian, Shanshan, and Juexian swords all strike at once. At the moment the execution immortal formation is complete, the arena space begins to collapse, with visible cracks forming. It gets patched up, then cracks again, patched and cracked over and over, until eventually it just gives up and turns into pure chaos. With chaos as a backdrop, they unleash the ultimate battle between Eastern and Western gods. No need to worry at all, as long as the ancestor wills it. Anything can happen with a single thought. The two Western supremes still want to interrupt the spellcasting. It's hilarious. Wait, Vishnu and Kashyapa really are pretty fierce.
He actually managed to withstand the immortal slaying sword.
No wonder the patriarch didn't care. The Asura realm is too low. He doesn't even qualify to be sacrificed. Even though Rahu is dead, he still wants to curse. Do you have any manners? Buzzing, killing intent fills the immortal execution array. Everything, including the air and the void, is packed densely with sword energy. Left with no other choice, Vishnu had to abandon his Dharma body. He reverted back to his original form as a world will, which means no shadow, no shape. The levels of Eastern gods can't define this. As for our Western gods, in my world, I'm the absolute ruler. Fall, O Eastern gods, you and all you possess. Vishnu, representing one of the three great wills of the Indian world. It's because of this balance that he possesses both creation and destruction, lowering the supreme creator below the level of a saint. Vishnu is completely enraged. He summons a meteor of chaos to destroy the immortal execution array. He even dares to target Buddha's legacy. The Master of Heaven tears off the sky and presses down on Buddha's golden body. Knowing he wants to escape, along with boundless karma, he compresses that area of void layer by layer, placing tens of thousands of shackles on Buddha's golden body. Only then does he shout mightily, "Don't rush. First let's sacrifice this creator god. Then we'll see if this so-called Buddhist Dharma is truly boundless." Those outside the arena privately say Buddhist Dharma is boundless. Buddhist Dharma is boundless. Even saints wouldn't dare be so arrogant. The Buddha's reputation is way overblown. Now, even Westerners' cognition is starting to collapse. Are saints really this overpowered? But even super powerful gods like the Master of Heaven aren't this extreme. Even a golden immortal can perform heaven-earth size alteration. But if a saint did it, what kind of scene would that be? A trail of light explodes and shatters the chaos. The Master of Heaven casually waves his hand, gathering chaos from all directions to form a grand Tao Dharma body. Vishnu looks utterly lost in the storm. Why can he command the key of chaos? The energy within chaos is endless and everywhere. In this alternate space, all gods can only use their own divine power. They thought this was fair. Who would have thought? He could actually turn this energy into his own strength? One key creates three purities. One key creates three purities. He can control ki. Is he really made of ki? He could very well be primordial chaos ki itself. Vishnu is completely stunned. He brings out the demonic red stone.
His Dharma form grows 10,000 times stronger. He bombards the heavenly master recklessly.
But no matter how much he grows, he still can't escape the master's grasp. The ancestor of sacrificial Tao's palms are the ritual itself, as if they're his own body. This level of combat is terrifying. Both the visual impact and the spiritual shock have reached their limits. No one is thinking about who is stronger, saints or supreme beings, but rather, will Vishnu really be refined into a path? Oh, Buddha's voice booms like a great bell. In a moment that shakes heaven and earth,
He destroys half his Buddha body.
just to break free from the Tao's restraints, he must save Vishnu, and only together. Can they perhaps win? What are you waiting for? If you don't reach nirvana now, both of us will die. The battle keeps changing rapidly. It's already turned into total one-sided domination. Vishnu dares not hesitate any longer. He wanted to hold out a bit more, but he really can't anymore. Sorry. My people, let me borrow your strength of faith. Venerable slave Vishnu is the kindest god of India. He never demands mortal offerings. But this time it's truly difficult. It's okay, Lord Vishnu. As long as you can achieve nirvana, I'm willing to offer all my faith. When they realize so-called nirvana actually means sacrifice, the faces of the Indians change instantly. Lord Vishnu wants to use our lives to attain nirvana. It's not just faith anymore. How did this turn into sacrificing lives? As a divine light of creation flashes by, it shrouds all of India. Everyone's face goes rigid. Their entire bodies are clearly weakened. Some with weaker constitutions even sprout strands of white hair. It really is a sacrifice. I suddenly feel so weak. Wasn't the Emperor of the Dragon Kingdom also making people offer sacrifices before? 10 years of lifespan.
10 years?
It actually feels like more than 10 years. Zhao Tianzhu wanted to show unity between the deity and the people. A year or two is no big deal. But if it's 10 years, they'd rather watch their god fall in battle. The Hua people immediately retorted angrily. Our ancestors would never stoop to draining the life of their people. Even if we handed it right to them, they wouldn't take it and like you. Directly using Creator God's radiance to extract it. Every extraction takes 20 years. The summoner shrinker saw through the clues, but didn't dare challenge Lord Vishnu's authority. Didn't have the courage to speak the truth. The poor believers still faithfully insisted, "Don't slander my Lord. He would never harm us. Even if it's only temporary. Once the war is over, he'll surely reward us 100-fold. Yes, this is an extraction. It's devotion. Noble Lord Vishnu. Take from me as much as you wish. We monks are happy to fulfill this request." Creator God's radiance formed 9 massive holes in the sky. Whether voluntary or unwilling, half their remaining lifespan was taken. Even the silversmith gasped at the cruelty. Their god is just ruthless. If the Creator God dies in battle, that lifespan can never be returned. Tianzhu's fate will be sealed. They say the gods in the mythic arena can't affect reality, but the Creator God can, because everything in their realm was created by the Creator God. Tongshan Master's eyes flashed. His palm started to waver as well. All things under heaven are but grass. Even this sage couldn't pull that off. To think those people worship him as the Creator, how pitiful. Vishnu's manifestation kept growing. It just needs a little more. As long as I kill you and steal your life force, I can not only return the life force, but double it. Double return means that if you sacrifice 10 years, you could get 20 years back in the end. Sounds like a huge profit. But are you really that confident you can beat me? Tongshan Master sneered coldly. I am Tongshan Sage. Even with all the karma of the heavens upon me, I can sever it entirely. Vishnu absorbed so many lives, bearing infinite karma. If Tongshan defeats Vishnu, that karma gets transferred. He definitely won't live long either. But don't forget, he's a sage. How could he be bound by karma? As Vishnu was about to succeed in nirvana, he'd crush his own legacy. 10,000 years of merit forged the strongest divine body. Only Tongshen remained alone, fighting solo in the chaos. How could anyone stand for this? If little Tianju can sacrifice, our vast China can too. Today we'll bet our destiny and win this fight. It's just a sacrifice. It's not the first time I've been drained. Memories flooded back instantly. The Chinese people have never been stingy about this. Little Tianju sacrifices 20 years. I'll sacrifice 30. Just let me survive long enough to say my goodbyes. So future generations will remember that their ancestor died in the Supreme God's battle. Feeling the endless fortune surge from behind, Tongshen felt gratified. This flourishing age is just as I wished. Even though spiritual energy is thin in this world, the people are united. After the investiture war, the two elders, Taisheng and Yuanqi, were honored as supreme sages. They enjoyed the utmost worship. As for me, I bore the infamy as the culprit of the investiture war. Even though I lost the people's support, I still taught without discrimination, wrote of 3,000 Taoist ways. All are righteous paths. Brother Taisheng always speaks of Tao following nature, but I believe the Tao is limitless, seeking its fullness. So I spent the years in the 30th to 40th heavens, chasing the perfect Tao. Suddenly a sacred sound thundered across the skies. All you hear is that below a sage, all are ants. But you never heard the second half. Above sages I am unrivaled. Tongshen was exceptionally arrogant. 3,000 Taoist ways, turned into runes, flowed like a river. Even with the two supremes working together, and all of Tianju's faith combined, creating a quasi-sage nirvana form, Tongshen's 3,000 Taoist ways could rival it evenly. Keep in mind this is just his incarnate avatar. If anyone fears a true sage, if my real body descended, one slap could flatten those two supremes into a treasure box. Unfortunately, the arena can't withstand that. It'd probably collapse the moment I set foot in. What kind of state of mind is that? In this mythic arena, a patch of chaos was dominated by 1,000-armed Buddha. God and Buddha in one form. God's face, Buddha's body, a great golden wheel behind him. That is his new divine status. Old Tianju was overjoyed. The fusion of the creator God and Buddha gave birth to the ultra-supreme God. I name him Vishnu Buddha. This is definitely not a simple 1 + 1 = 2. It's multiplied many times over. That chaos has completely shifted to our Vishnu Buddha. Oriental deity's fate is already lost. Victory will belong to Greater Tianju. You have to admit, Tongshen is very strong. But it's still not enough. I have a feeling Vishnu Buddha's power has surpassed all Eastern gods. And even here in the West, he's also utterly unbeatable. Though that might sound offensive. Little Sakura and Sakura-chan didn't argue. But little Sheila said Lord Zeus might still be able to compete. Little Tianzu scoffed. All right, they're all our gods. No need to fight over who's number one. Though we're still a bit stronger. Don't be fooled by those smiling faces in the West. Once China's taken care of, the gods here will be at each other's throats. At this moment, not all of China is covered by fate. The ancestor doesn't want our sacrifices. Is it not enough? Well, that's true. Look, they're already fusing over there. Even sacrificing lifespans might not be enough. But aside from this worthless life, I have nothing left. Tianju's side has pretty much all joined the fight. China's sacrifice was interrupted. Clearly, the ancestor didn't accept it. But what the ancestor said next almost made everyone break down in tears. At the peak of the arena, Master Vishnu Buddha struck down hard with his palm. Tongshen didn't even flinch. He tanked the world-ending attack head-on. With a thunderous boom, Tongshen's form was completely obliterated. Only 3 tufts of green aura remained. Why didn't the ancestor dodge? But in the very next moment, those 3 tufts of green reunited. If my true body came down, I wouldn't need this trick. But Taisheng's technique, 3 pure ones from 1 key, is actually pretty useful. If word got out about this, wouldn't you be absolutely furious? Before the world could recover from shock, Ancestor Tongshen started the immortal extermination arrays. There is no grand Tao left on earth. Now that you two have merged with the Tao, then return to your place. Even in this situation, Tongshen Jiaoju is still arrogant. Where does his confidence come from? Does he really think he's an invincible sage? Wait, this is beyond my knowledge. The Tao spoken of by the Eastern gods. Is it the same as what we call the order and station? Huaxia Tong nodded. You can think of it that way. I finally understand. He keeps talking about Tao sacrifice, which means he wants to use our supreme god for the order's ritual. That's so brutal. No, it's way too arrogant, Zhao Tianju shouted furiously. Invincible above the saints. We do not acknowledge sages. Only the supreme. Supreme God means the ultimate and invincible. Always a lack of presence. Su Ming laughed. It doesn't matter if you don't acknowledge them. You don't need to. Fact is, sages completely dominate your supreme gods. Su Ming let out a long sigh. Finally, the power gap between Eastern and Western gods is bridged. Quasi-sages are equal to or greater than supremes. Because Tongshan Jiaoju said, this isn't his true body. Which means, right now Tongshan Patriarch is most likely a quasi-sage. His cultivation is just off the charts. Our patriarch has gone insane with power. And here I was thinking of sacrificing my life. Didn't expect this. The patriarch only needs a clone to act, and he's at the western peak. Yet no one realized that what Tongshan Patriarch meant by return to place was to fill Waxia's missing void. Perhaps in the not-so-distant future, everyone could become immortals. In the arena space, there's only chaos everywhere. Only two beings remain. Vishnu's power is overwhelming, erupting with divine might. Among gods, he's the strongest. How dare you use me for your sacrifice knife? That sheer blasphemy. Get lost. The word get lost shook the field. The voices of Pisanu and Jaiai merged together, as if it were the voice of a true lord. But Tongshan Patriarch's law of heaven and earth was aimed at the entire chaos. Myriad immortals array, slaughter immortals array. 3,000 Taos about to clash. The Tao has no form, yet takes shape as a sword. Billions of sword auras poured into the chaos, actually achieving the feat of creation. With one sword, he split the chaos. This sword wasn't used against an enemy, but to split chaos itself. The world was shocked. Master Pai went completely mad. Is this the realm of a sage? It's not that Master Pai couldn't think of it. It's that he couldn't do it. Chaos was split open because of him. So this primordial world will be shaped by him. All the orders of the heavens will follow his will. Impossible. Could there really be a being this powerful? I've already reached the strongest form. No way, I'll lose to you. Master Pai roared furiously. Because it's a fusion form. All sorts of divine personalities are colliding. And since it was created for battle, the brutal divine nature is in control. Tongshan, since you created this sky, I'll rebel against the heavens with my own body. Let's see you break it. The monk seemed to lose his mind, his endless karmic power surging, bombarding heaven and earth endlessly, attempting to create a world here. You may defy the western sky, but you can't defy mine. As I said before, the low sages, all are ants, whether eastern or western gods, must all follow this law. Tongshan Jiaoju stood at the sky itself, his hand of creation closing with a boom. It was as though the heavens themselves closed as well. Pressing down on Master Pai, thought I could last 2 moves. Who knew? Crushing power from a higher dimension. Once, the sword immortal opening the heaven's gate was awesome enough, but now the Patriarch's 2 arrays splitting creation is even more insane. Because opening the heavenly gate and creation itself are fundamentally different. As the world came together, Master Pai could no longer fight back. A sense of crisis loomed, and dread completely smothered Jianzhu. Not just Zhao Dianzhu. The entire West felt the terror. There's no way to fight. It's hopeless. If we can't win, we should surrender. For the first time, the word surrender was spoken by Westerners. To Easterners, sages are hope. To Westerners, their despair. A single sage is enough to overthrow the divine realm. And there's not just one. Top brass of the Western Alliance called urgent meetings. This round is hopeless. And so will every round after. I can't afford to lose again. A 5-star general adjusted his cap and spoke in despair and resignation. We can only rely on luck now. General MacArthur, should we take action now? As long as we have this top critic, an undefeated commander, uniting the 4 nations, We can definitely sweep through Dragon Country before the Eastern gods descend. No need for all that trouble. Just kill their summoner directly. I don't believe Dragon Country would risk everything just to protect their Tongshan. The might of the Sage Lord is simply overwhelming. Everyone in the West is in chaos, thinking of stopping the Eastern gods. Either kill the summoner or bet on luck. As long as no divine power is used, the Valkyrie won't protect anyone. Back in Dragon Country, martial law started too. Grand Marshal Longzhan reminded Su Ming, "Summoner, you must be careful. The West may take action against you in the upcoming matches. Of course, we'll do everything we can to protect you." Su Ming was stunned after hearing this. To target me right in front of the gods. Can the divine arena shield a sage? Or maybe they'll attack me between rounds, assaulting the summoner live on global TV. No matter which it is, Su Ming wasn't worried at all. Go ahead, bring it on. If things go wrong and they kill the enemy summoner, saves us from another 5 to 20 comeback. No, wait. It's 8 to 20 since the Patriarch has sealed the win this round. The world slowly opened and closed again. A sense of crisis faded away. Master Pi started to fall apart, everyone running for their lives. But it was agony for the Indians. Please don't abandon our revered gods. Please don't back down. All our lives are tied to you. The Indians wept uncontrollably. But Pai Sainu couldn't be bothered anymore. If he was really sacrificed to become the Tao, he could never come back again. Unlike Brahma, who at least died at the hands of a monkey. But this one in front of us is a sage who can split chaos with one sword. Of course, Tongshan Jioju won't let him go easily. The unstoppable Dao reached out for Pai Sanu, while another struck at Jaiai. So much for Buddha's Dharma. If Tadada hadn't turned saint via the Eastern path, he probably wouldn't be much different from the Buddha before us. No, must not destroy my Dharma body. Transformed into relics. This battle counts as your victory. Why pursue to annihilation? Buddha Kashyapa gave up resistance, yet was still ensnared by the great river of Tao. He couldn't help but curse Shakyamuni in his heart. You old bastard. Give me back my kidney. What's this supposed to be? Let's call it an even fight. More like a 1-7 mismatch. A sage's 3 powerful punches, even if a Buddha like me wouldn't make it past the 7th day, Tongshan shouted, without having attained the Tao. How could I let you go? Endless Tao energy raged on, swallowing up the Buddha's legacy. The path of Ki has begun, and you can't escape either. The battle on the mythic arena has already spiraled out of control. The Valkyrie was paralyzed with fear. She could only watch silently as the fight ended. But there's one thing he was certain of. The mythic arena space is connected to the entire human world. If these sages go berserk, the human world would perish with it. On the other side, Vishnu was completely out of options. He tried to escape through the gate of heaven. But unless it's life or death, he simply couldn't leave. As the heavenly chains were about to bind him, he couldn't hold back anymore. He burst through the heavenly gate with endless divinity, forcing out a heavenly chant, cried for Shiva to save him. When Vishnu called out Shiva's name, little Tianju's scattered gaze suddenly turned intimate. Great Deva Shiva towards us is not a total loser. We still have our great Deva Shiva to rely on. Even though Vishnu suffered a crushing defeat, it didn't diminish the reverence for Shiva at all. Because as one of the Trimurti, great Deva Shiva is even stronger. Back to the previous topic. If Lord Vishnu is quasi-saint, then great Deva Shiva must surely be a sage. Blind faith. Led little Tianju to a mysterious confidence in Shiva. Countless voices of little Tianju united as one, praying to great Deva Shiva. Your people are suffering unprecedented hardship. Please, you must save us. The world watched closely, fixing their gaze on the gate that hovered above the heavens. Will Shiva really descend? Is this never going to end? Our patriarch is already fighting 3-on-1. Isn't that unfair enough? And now another supreme god joins the fight. But the flower folk showed no fear at all, if that's how they want to play it. Then the Waxia divine court might as well bend the rules. Isn't the patriarch still got 2 elder brothers? Let's all join in. With 3 sages, we could flip all of the West. If little Tianju's gods can call for backup, why can't we?
Hold on.
Looking at the patriarch, he doesn't seem to need any help. However, the rules of the mythic arena will not be broken. I believe the Valkyrie will make the right ruling. But the thing is, can the Valkyrie really stop Shiva? This question affects all of humanity. Everything is at the gate. The barriers connecting all worlds were violently shaking. Countless waves of hostility poured out from behind the gate. As the void grew ever more unstable, the entire human world began to tremble. What is happening? An earthquake! Oh my god. Everyone, look. The arena is disintegrating. The air suddenly got freezing cold. Feels like -10 degrees. Even the ground in the real world had cracks forming. All signs indicate. It feels like the end of the world is coming. Tongshan Laozu's eyes narrowed. The hand of the heavens he just unleashed failed, and he sensed a threat. A powerful Western god had arrived outside the heavenly gate to threaten him. Including the Valkyrie, their face was stiff at this moment. He is the spokesperson for order on the mythic arena. But isn't strong himself? Even order itself is beneath the sages. Only because it's bound to all the worlds, using the lives of these worlds to balance the sages. If the sages stop caring about order, then order must be rebuilt. Sages scoff at it. To them, it's just a snap of the fingers. Like Eastern and Western currency exchange. If the sage isn't happy, one palm strike would shatter it. The whole world would fall apart. Billions would die. According to Su Ming's memories before his rebirth, Waxia's people were slaughtered by Western gods. A certain sage in Waxia intended to break order, thus showing contempt. Unfortunately, at the critical moment, Su Ming was reborn by accident. In summary, a sage can break order, but it would annihilate the world. Tongshan Zhaoyuju naturally doesn't want to destroy the world. That's why he lowers himself to play this East-West gods game. But at this very moment, the other side threatened him with world destruction. With Tongshan's transformation, he unleashed sage might and stabilized the collapsing heavenly gate. Only a hint of sage might, yet dares to arrogantly disrespect this god. I am determined to kill. Just 2 short sentences, yet revealed explosive information. Little Tianju panicked. In a daze, they suddenly remembered. Great, Devashiva is a god of destruction. He really would destroy the world. According to the legend of the boiling head, this supreme master Po is not merciful. She can get angry over the smallest trivialities, and that leads to world destruction. It's over. It's over. Suddenly, no one is hoping for the supreme heaven to save us. We just hope the Eastern sage doesn't provoke her. Otherwise, all humanity is done for. But there are those who think, it's not like the world belongs to you alone. Does the master just get to call for world destruction and that's it? Honestly, she really can. It all depends on whether the Eastern sage agrees. And there's Zhuzhigao from the west. Though no one outside Heaven's Gate can see the master show her divine signs, they all know she's right behind the door. Finally, after a long silence, a deep voice echoed out. Step back, everyone. Spare Pishanu. I can choose not to destroy the world. This time, you win. Though Pishanu is tightly bound by the chains of the great Tao, he clearly relaxed when he heard the master's words. His heart genuinely eased up. Poor Buddha Kashyapa, still struggling against the silent Tao's mighty heaven. No matter how he called out, his golden body continued to fall apart piece by piece. Yet, to the master, the Buddha can die, but Pishanu cannot be lost. Otherwise, no one could suppress her rage. Even though Pishanu isn't that strong in battle, he's good at comforting people. Meanwhile, the Grand Master of Tongshan magnified the Tao's fire chains and raised the chaos furnace, beginning the ritual to use Pishanu as the sacrificial blade. Don't you dare! The Supreme Master Po shouted fiercely. Moments later, the bells of heaven and earth rang out. The master's form manifested on the horizon. Her massive body was nearly the size of half a planet. But even then, she was apprehensive. She didn't dare descend in her true form. At that moment, no one suffered more than little Tianju. On one hand, the master scorned them. On the other, their very lifespans were at stake. If Pishanu really was sacrificed, their days would be numbered too. In that instant, the people of Tianju broke down. One after another, they knelt before Waxia, begging the ancestor of Tongshan. Ancestor, we were wrong. Please, let us go. Even though we're not Waxia's people, we're still part of humanity. We just want to live. We don't want to die. It's almost too pathetic to watch. Their own creator god is right in front of them, yet they're begging the god of the East. How could the children of Zhonghua let this opportunity pass? Ancestor, please don't be fooled by them. If the roles were reversed, they'd wipe out Waxia without a second thought.
Exactly.
These people are downright ruthless. As a summoner, Su Ming has never been soft-hearted, especially after suffering through the tragedies of his past life. Still, Su Ming didn't want to influence Grandmaster Tongshan's judgment. After all, beneath the saints, all are ants. He wouldn't even bother considering these people. But just then, something unexpected happened. Pashinu suddenly struck his own skull with his palm. Overwhelming divine power erupted, even shaking the Taoist arts refined by heaven itself. Amid billions of specks of light, Pashinu seemed enlightened, no longer clinging to life or death in the heaven field. Let it go, this was our loss. It all began with me, and should end with me. As he finished, his crown blazed with radiant light, turning into brilliant colors. Limitless vitality surged forth. All the life force absorbed, returned to the people of Tianzhu. The price, though, was utter destruction of the soul, never to be reincarnated. Lord Pashinu, in his last vision, Pashinu showed only kindness to the world. In the end, he faded away. The guardian deity of Tianzhu was gone. The world instantly lost its balance. They watched as Pashinu died. At last, the master was enraged. Unforgivable, you caused Pashinu's death. Make the whole world join him in burial. Supreme Master Pio, Tianzhu's most powerful deity. Without exception, unlike the other gods, who rose up through generations, the master was different. From her birth, she was the mightiest in the world. Supreme Master Po. They say she could destroy the world with just a look. Little Tianzhu might exaggerate a bit, but the fact she once split Fanshan's skull proves it. And it's absolutely true. It showed her power was a class above Fanshan himself. Right now, the people of Tianzhu were in complete panic. It's over, it's over. Lord Pashinu is dead. No one can calm the supreme heaven's rage. She really might destroy the world. Their guardian deity was gone, replaced by a destroyer. Elsewhere, the order of the mythic arena held firm, keeping the master outside heaven's gate. At a critical moment, the Valkyrie finally stepped forward. She solemnly declared, without the proper summoning ritual, no deity may descend to this realm. Otherwise, order will annihilate them. Beneath the saints, order will ruthlessly slaughter. Yet, in her fury, the master's shoulders burst forth with 10 heads, each as massive as a star, each representing a small world destroyed. Borrowing fearsome powers, heaven's gate cracked open once again. The barrier covering the human realm grew dangerously unstable. Even the Valkyrie was secretly stunned. To think the master could rival order itself. If her power increased even more, she might actually break order. She came so close, just a little short. All of you, die for me. Die and accompany Pashinu in burial. Clearly, the master was blinded by rage. Her anger was not her true will, but she just couldn't control it. That's why he cared so much. Hinting, what should you do? Is there no one who can stop her? If this continues, the apocalypse will come early. Without the apocalypse, there wouldn't even be anything left. It would be outright destruction. Not just little Tianzhu. All humanity felt the threat. In fact, this battle's outcome is clear. Grandmaster Tongshan has won. But there's a maniac wreaking havoc. The Valkyrie was flustered for a moment, helplessly turned her gaze to Grandmaster Tongshan. As the dignified judge, even she had to seek help from a contestant. Our charming ancestor was calm as ever. He casually put away the Buddha's relics after finishing the ritual, still muttering to himself. If the one sacrificed was the one on Lingshan, wouldn't that have been more interesting? Looking at the dissipating Pashinu, Grandmaster Tongshan thought to himself, what a pity. In the end, the complete Western Tao was not refined. Then, with a glance, he turned his eyes to the Valkyrie. The Western 3 gods have been destroyed. Victory is certain. Why not open heaven's gate and let me leave? The Valkyrie was stunned at first, then helplessly realized. Could it be that even Tongshan can't stop the master? But rules are rules. As the master launched a furious assault, the Valkyrie brought down her gavel of judgment. The mythic arena. Victory in the 23rd round goes to Longuo's deity. 3 key fragments fall into Su Ming's hands, radiating a brilliant glow. However, this act caused discontent among the Westerners. Even at a time like this, they're still fixated on winning and losing. Right now, only Eastern deities have descended to this world. We must stop Shippo from destroying the world no matter what. Sakura will do her best. Fine, you win. We should let go of our grudges and make it through this doomsday. Sheila, on the other hand, was extremely pessimistic. Didn't you see that even Tongshin is about to run away? Don't count on it. Might as well just give up. Honestly, if we all die together, it's not so bad. That's just how the world is. No one condemns the abuser. Instead, they turn their anger towards the side that didn't stand up for justice. Tongshin doesn't buy into that. But disdain is something that has always been a sage's privilege. Even though the lunatic up above is already very close, it's still not enough. Then Tongshin Lozu rises up with the wind. His energy spreads for thousands of miles, until the very next second, he dons the blue robe and sits upright again atop the platform. Even his appearance changes back to his Taoist ancestor form. With a thunderous boom, a crack appears in the sky. Tongshin loudly calls out, "Taishang, senior brother! Stop looking, junior brother, my true form can't descend yet. I need you to guide the laws for me. Stabilize this realm." In an instant, the sky canopy opens up, revealing a heavenly palace, where the clouds and mists swirl. Suddenly appears an old Taoist with a white beard, wearing a bagua robe. His horsetail whisk is gray and white, and he shows a kind and gentle smile. Even the Westerners are momentarily awestruck by this sight. Just a single glance at him makes me feel like I'm ascending to heaven. That's Tongshin's senior brother, another sage. But wait, in Monkey King's memories, he threw out the golden bracelet, knocked Monkey King out and threw him into the 8 trigrams furnace. Wasn't his status lower than the Jade Emperor? How did he become a sage? And weren't Tongshin and his 2 senior brothers supposed to be rivals? Weren't they mortal enemies? You're overthinking it. Sages wouldn't care about such things. If even couples can fight on the bedside, isn't it normal for senior and junior brothers? Isn't that natural? Meanwhile, Tai Shang Lojun raises his lotus platform, 9-colored divine light shining above his head. He speaks slowly. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. Heavenly cycles never cease. This world must return to emptiness. Go to Yingluo now. Countless laws converge into a stunning arc, locking down the mythic arena layer by layer, generating endless commandments. Tongshin reacts accordingly, and with one palm pushes at the edge of the heavens, leaving a Tongshin palm mark. Only then is the shaky arena space completely stabilized. That palm print, why does it feel like a stamp of approval? And with that strike, he blasts the electric senior uncle awake. Senior uncle is dazed. Did I just destroy the world again? And again and again? The mythic arena has been restored to order. Senior uncle touches the western heavenly gate. Because Pai Shinu fell in battle in the lower realm? Even if he has to force open the heavenly gate, he has to go down and demand justice. However, with the heavenly gate empowered by 2 sages' combined Tao, it's simply not something he can break open. At the edge, Tai Shang Laojun has already faded away, only leaving behind one line. Don't forget what your senior brother entrusted you with. Only then does Tongshin remember, first glancing at the western heavenly gate. If it weren't for this game still going on, I'd have gone up there and given you a beating. After saying that, he looked at Su Ning, not keeping any more secrets. You've got some impressive luck, kid. The old lord never gives treasures away unprompted, especially a grade 10 golden elixir. Hold on to it. The heavens can't just throw things in directly, so he asked me to deliver it. But Su Ming is totally stunned. I'm just a nobody. How did I come to be favored by the old lord? At this moment, even though they can't see the lower realm from the heavens, that uproar just now shook the entire heavens. Jade Emperor, the West has sages too. People can destroy worlds. Even though the Jade Emperor looks shocked, deep down he flinches a little, as if a bit disdainful. Tai Ju Ku Tu Tianzun. Good thing my wife didn't try to hog the spotlight in this battle. Of course, he sized up the situation too. Taking on 3 opponents at once might be a bit much. Erlang Shen by the southern heavenly gate has a strange expression, thinking no wonder he's Lingbao Tianzun. Back then, even fighting just his 3rd-generation disciples was rough enough. It's been so many years.
He's still the same. Forget it.
Calling a sage still in his prime doesn't really feel right. Yet, At this moment, the most turbulent place is the Lingshan on the heavenly side. After Shakyamuni led Buddhism east, making Lingshan the Buddhist holy land, there's just one thing no one understands. Why does the journey get more dangerous for Monkey King? The closer he gets to Lingshan, the monsters get more numerous and stronger. On the Jinsu Lotus platform, Buddha sits upright and solemn. Ever since Buddha Kashyapa's relic took form, he sensed something. Even his own teacher has fallen in battle. Buddha whispers to himself before he headed east. In one past life, he was apprenticed to the lineage of the 7 ancient Buddhas. Looking out, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas present, plus countless arhats. This is the entire elite strength of Lingshan. He once thought that by occupying the Western paradise, he could be on par with the 3 Taoist sages. But now it seems, how laughable. In fact, back during the Great Conferred Gods War, Buddha participated as well. He had concluded at that time that he could fight Tongshan to a standstill. But looking up now, before he couldn't see it clearly, but now he finally can. Those Taoist cultivators are all crafty old-timers. Amitabha, it may not be too late to draw a clear line with the West. Is there still time? Buddha gazes at the 33rd heaven, his eyes reaching to the 34th heaven, and then to the 35th. If I fight for the East, maybe I can separate myself from the West. Buddha has made up his mind. At the mythic arena, only Tongshan remains, universally looked up to in Little Tianju. So, it does seem like he saved us. Shippo scoffs. If Tongshan hadn't reinforced the order, if the heavenly gate had shattered, even the lower world would have collapsed. No doubt about it.
It was Sage Tongshan who saved us.
I don't want to fight anymore. Is it too late to apply for Chinese citizenship now? Some in the Western camp have started to sound hesitant. Because now that there's the idea of a sage among Eastern gods, even senior uncle isn't a sage. Do any Western deities even stand a chance? Western leaders trying to keep morale up, keep spreading conspiracy theories about the Oriental gods. They claim that when the Eastern gods descend, even if they don't kill them, they'll make Westerners their slaves, trampled underfoot for life. They'd rather risk their lives than be dogs to the Eastern gods. They'd rather fight to the end. The moment this thought arose, their worship of the East was suddenly extinguished. He's not saving us. He's saving them. Because once the world ends, Huaxia would be destroyed as well. That doesn't really count as a favor. The Greeks are also boosting their morale. Allies, don't be pessimistic. So what if they're saints? Their gods may be hiding saints. Our gods could be hiding them too. The time just hasn't come yet. They just haven't been revealed. It's said in our mythology. Before the god Zeus, there were many prehistoric ancient gods. Some were even stronger than Lord Zeus. And many sources are about to confirm this legend. Even Sakura has stepped up too. Our Amaterasu is the strongest god on the surface. But tracing it back, it can go back to before Takamegara was born, to the era of Izanagi. All of a sudden, it feels like, except for the Indian myth, all the other artifacts are hiding ancient overlords, just waiting to be revealed. Huaxia is filled with the joy of victory, but still has concerns, hearing them talk this way. The Western Alliance might have saints too. Bah, who cares if they do? Even if they do, it's just another level. There are still differences in strength. Didn't our ancestors say it clearly? Under the saint, all are ents. Above the saint, I'm invincible unofficial claim. Seriously, why would I joke? It just hurts. It's just frustrating that it was such a sure win. Even with 2 Supreme fighting 3, they lost. Confidence takes a hit, understandably. Lost 3 matches in a row. The current score is 17-8. Looking at the scores rolling on the big screen, Westerners are heartbroken. 8 straight defeats. Anyone would break down. Please, just let the Eastern gods get lucky for once. Hope they're all just bed gods and toilet gods, like Oxhead and Horseface, so they have no choice. The Tongshan Patriarch hasn't even entered the heavenly gates, but the British general can't hold back anymore, since India couldn't keep Western glory. Let them take the stage. All of Huaxia is praising the merits of the Tongshan Patriarch. What merits does a saint need? In a saint's eyes, there's basically nothing to want, right? Look, everyone, look into the Patriarch's eyes. I feel like I see the phrase, invincible, so lonely. Actually, everyone has another question. Order has been reinforced. In the past, saints couldn't descend. What about from now on? Westerners are already stirring trouble. From now on, don't call it the mythology arena. Just call it the Eastern arena. Fortunately, Valkyrie came out to explain. The mythology arena will remain absolutely fair. Until it's over. Interesting. The Patriarch Tongshan's gaze pierces straight into the Western realm. Before the very beginning, there was actually no division between planes. Endless and boundless, everything was chaos. After chaos was first opened, the planes were separated. The heavens were born from a single breath, traveled across 3,000 worlds, refined 3,000 ways. Most planes don't exist. Living beings always in a chaotic state. Still, this Western realm is interesting. Even he has never been here. Everyone thinks ancient people created mythology, without realizing the myths came first. Then came later generations. Since people think this world is reality, in the not-so-distant future, let's make myth become reality. No one knows what's in the Patriarch Tongshan's heart right now. The land of Huaxia is busy building temples. Our mythology is missing pieces. History is broken.
Even Taoism is incomplete.
They don't even know who to worship. Do you even need to ask? Of course it's Patriarch Bodhi, but I don't think Patriarch Bodhi belongs to Taoism. He should be a reclusive, wandering saint. He never founded a sect. But the Tongshan Patriarch is different.
He's always linked to the Tao.
He probably created the heavenly Tao.
Even Taoism was founded by him.
Ancestor Tongshan is absolutely unique. And his two elder martial brothers. I propose to include them all in the Huaxia pantheon. To be among the supreme gods. Su Ming consulted public opinion, thinking that Taoism in this world should be completed. Then, in front of the whole world, he solemnly declared, "There are only 3 supreme gods in Taoism. From now on, the 3 pure ones must be worshipped in all Huaxia Taoist temples, namely Yuqing Yuanxi Tianzun, Shenqing Lingbao Tianzun, and Taiking Dao Tianzun." Suddenly, the world erupted. How come there's no master of Tongshan? Bro, are you watching a live stream with your butt? From the start, the summoner respectfully referred to Tongshan as Lingbao Tianzun. I guess Taiking Dao Tianzun is that Grand Supreme Elderly Lord. But Yuqing Yuanxi Tianzun is very unfamiliar. Master of Tongshan felt curious. This kid even knows my senior brother Yuanxi. In this life, post-heavenly saints do not appear. Not a single elderly lord has been born in 10,000 years. Choosing you, there must be a reason. That Tongshan pill can transform your muscles and bones, reaching your whole body. As for how much it can refine, it depends on your destiny. Master of Tongshan thought again. Alright, it's also fate that we met. How can I, this lord, come empty-handed? Saying so, he threw out a package of vegetables. Su Ming didn't react immediately. Until Master of Tongshan smiled and said, "This enlightenment tea pairs even better with the Tongshan pill." What is this stuff? This lump of dark, unappealing vegetable package. Is enlightenment tea? Su Ming was disoriented in the wind. With trembling hands, he took the package. Mainly, whose enlightenment tea is this? It's what I estimated. It probably weighs 2 caddies. Master of Tongshan saw Su Ming stunned and asked, "Too little? Not enough?" "I have plenty more of this stuff." He even thought, if this world couldn't handle it, he would have planted the entire enlightenment tree. It could just replenish the reflection of this heaven and earth. The conversation between Master of Tongshan and Su Ming was conducted via telepathy, so the audience didn't know. Enlightenment tea and enlightenment tea leaves. Just like oolong tea, steep it in boiling water. Just a small piece can cleanse away. The lead and transform one's body and spirit. Of course, only those with natural talent can drink it. Apparently, Su Ming is a saint. His cultivation reaches the heavens, and he can destroy heaven and earth. But one thing is certain. Even saints cannot reverse the past and present. The matters of Su Ming's future transmigration and rebirth. Even saints cannot deduce. Actually, as early as when Master of Tongshan descended to the mortal realm, he had already peered into everything about Su Ming. A lost individual with great luck. Is the key to opening an unknown world? It's a pity, after coming down once, he ultimately gained nothing. Ah, no, that's not right. Master of Tongshan opened his palm. Emitting a wisp of chaotic energy, 3,000 great Taos. The demonic path is also a path. This is perfect. Looking afar, a brilliant energy was hidden deep within the chaos. Yet, it remained dormant. It seemed to be searching for a host. 3,000 great Taos. I only take one scoop. Only I, the Tongshan saint, have left. Master of Tongshan laughed heartily. Dark clouds rolled, carrying the remnants of Rahu in his hand. He stepped out through the heavenly gate. Quick, quick, get ready. 12:3. Farewell, Lingbao Tianzun. Farewell, Lingbao Tianzun. Farewell, Lingbao Tianzun. Ancestor Tongshan has left, but the land of Waxia seemed to be reborn. Not only did they win 3 matches, but they also completed the supreme gods of the Doi system. Moreover, the people of Waxia now have an orthodox faith. 3 pure ones. Look. Little India's gaze towards us has changed.
Hehe, once the Hall of the 3 Pure Ones is completed.
I won't go to work anymore. I'll go worship every day. Sweep the floors every day. Who knows, I might even be able to move the heavens and be accepted as a disciple by the ancestor. Count me in. Let's form a team to sweep the Hall of the 3 Pure Ones. No salary needed. No, not even food needed. Do you think if the Hall of the 3 Pure Ones is built, the incense money will be little? Lingbao Tianzun, Master of Tongshan, left a shadow over the Western Alliance, including those summoners. From their initial high spirits to everyone below a saint is an ant. They're truly tired. I'm guilty. This has caused heavy losses in this battle. I want to resign from my position as summoner and go to Grand Heavenly Master Po Kian to repent. The India summoner Swomo said dejectedly. The Westerners felt a pang in their hearts. Is this really the summoner's fault? Actually, many people with divinity are born in each country. As long as they pass the arena certification, they can all become summoners. Subsequently, the Valkyrie agreed to Swomo's request. As he left the arena, he looked in Su Ming's direction and secretly whispered, I'll be back. Then, escorted by India's high-ranking officials, he went to a temple. Actually, whether Swomo resigns or not won't affect anything for now, because it will be several more rounds until India's deities enter the battle. Next up, we invite the summoner from Eagle Nation to the stage. The Eagle Nation summoner Damu walked with heavy steps, having lost 8 consecutive matches. He will also bear immense pressure. In reality, what's the point of fighting tooth and nail for the future of their countrymen? What's it all for? At least the Dragon Nation summoners can obtain divine beast treasures. As for them, who knows what good stuff Master of Tongshan just gave him? It's not that we don't want to give gifts. It's mainly because Laozi is already dead. What else is there to give? Halftime usually lasts only half an hour. In the Olympics, gods entering the arena have no concept of time. As a result, everyone present feels no fatigue. But Su Ming has so many treasures at his disposal, and he hasn't even had time to understand them yet. Now he has to go back on stage to work. He guesses that if he swallowed the Tongshan pill,
He'd probably ascend on the spot.
what's it like to ascend to immortality? In front of billions of viewers? Actually, Su Ming has been waiting for a god from the West. Perhaps there truly is a battle that he might have to fight himself. Little Eagle General saw Damu's despondency, his morale completely gone. How can this be? So he quickly waved flags and shouted, Summoner Damu, you must pull yourself together. Saints aren't cabbages that awaken in every match. You have to believe in yourself. Yes, we also have a hidden powerful being. Maybe even more powerful than a saint. They got one thing right. Saints are indeed not cabbages. But if they want to descend, they just need to casually alter the divine lineage. The pace is too fast. I haven't even recovered from Lingbao Tianzun's eruption yet. And the next match is about to begin. I don't know why. Even though the score is still behind, I feel that the scales of victory have tilted. This mindset is good. Being too depressed is not good. I'm just afraid that after getting used to saint-level power, other gods will feel underwhelming. Damu didn't hesitate at all, and gave the first pick to Su Ming. In this match, Dragon Nation gets the first pick. Su Ming has no objections. Actually, the crisis in Waxia isn't over yet. The appearance of a sage only shows the power of Waxia's deities. They truly can rewrite the divine roster, force their way onto the field. but I doubt any sages would be bored enough to play such a pointless game. And the gods below, sage level, don't have this ability. So everything still goes back to square one. It all comes down to luck. Refresh my divine roster. As the light and shadow intertwined. This time, the roster refresh is taking longer. It took half a day to squeeze out a single name. The Waxia people immediately turned their attention to watch. This is the 1,000-Year Snake Immortal, Bai Sujen. Bai Sujen suddenly felt something stuck in her throat. She couldn't speak. All Waxia people were suddenly overwhelmed with sadness. Then came the anger. This is the White Snake Immortal. She is the Green Snake Immortal's elder sister. She must want to avenge her sister, but White Snake and Green Snake aren't missing from Waxia mythology. So during the 8th round, Green Snake Immortal awakened. And Jia Yingzhang's entry back then was indeed the fallen angel Lucifer. That battle was horrific beyond words. Even though Green Snake Immortal unleashed 1,000 years of cultivation, she only managed to rip off one of Lucifer's wings. And that ended up enraging him. He skinned her and tore out her tendons. In the end, she lost her last breath. Not choosing White Snake Immortal isn't about victory or defeat. It's just that no one wants to witness that scene again. The White Snake Immortal's fate is tragic. In the legends, she could not be with her lover. And now she has lost her sister too. It's really heartbreaking. Su Ming also witnessed that battle. Green Snake Immortal did everything she could. Even if it was her last gasp of air, she still fought to the very end. In fact, for those lesser deities, fighting for Waxia is their mission. Even though their powers aren't vast, they give their all until the last glow fades. The saddest thing is, the gears of fate never turned for them. Su Ming, oh Su Ming, if you could be reborn in the first round, maybe you could rewrite their destinies. Earth God, Mountain God, River God, and the Kitchen God. Though they're not top-tier gods, not one of them is a coward. Su Ming really wishes he could paint a bold stroke for them on the roster. Sadly, all those names have faded to gray, which means Waxia's righteous gods shouldn't end up like this. Maybe in the near future, Su Ming might truly find a way to revive the gods. But for now, choosing the most powerful deity is the priority. White Snake, one day your blood debt will be repaid. Someone will avenge it. And with that, he erased White Snake Immortal's name, just to protect her. Surprisingly, Su Ming's action met no objection from the Waxia people. Don't worry, White Snake Immortal. We in Hoxia have sages. No matter who Sakura's faction sends, we can suppress them with a raise of the hand. This round is to avenge Green Snake Immortal. That's right, one life isn't enough. Then two it is. Last round, Master Bodhi defeated Thor, which kind of avenged Green Snake Immortal. But since Thor wasn't the main culprit, the grudge wasn't so deep. Each deity can only go on stage once, so avenging Lucifer is unlikely. The only hope is that Sakura's side sends out a god related to Lucifer and crush them to comfort Green Snake Immortal's soul in heaven. Not just Green Snake Immortal. All Waxia's fallen righteous deities need to be honored with Western gods' blood. At this moment, what was once a battle affecting the fate of East and West suddenly became all about vengeance. Now they're out for revenge. But quite a few of our gods have died too. It was always a battle to the death. Why act like it's the blood feud of the ages? The problem with Easterners is they're too narrow-minded. Waxia people immediately got angry. Narrow-minded? You have no right to judge. Gods can fall in battle, but should never die in humiliation. Western gods have too much blood on their hands. Then we're done being humane too. Please, awaken the most fearsome god of Waxia. Let them taste a tragedy beyond imagination. Now all the pressure is on Su Ming. Who are Waxia's evil gods anyway? Su Ming glanced at the roster.
He saw Chionchi Shangliu Taudi.
Even Juyin was there. It is said the world has only two dragons. One is the progenitor dragon. The other is Juying. The former is the ancestor of true dragons. The latter is the ancestor of wyverns. Although Juyin's power can't match the progenitor dragon, being ranked alongside it says a lot. It's probably close to a holy spirit. Most importantly, it's ferocious enough. That guy could devour an entire continent in one bite. Even if the roster awakens randomly, Su Ming still hopes to witness the might of the dragon ancestors. After all, our nation's symbols are built on dragons. Unfortunately, the progenitor dragon's name is nowhere to be found on the roster. If Shulong awakened, that would be epic too. As the 9-colored divine light fell, it was about to land on Juyan's name. But then it suddenly jumped, and 2 appeared on the big screen. Clairvoyant Gao Ming of the Southern Gate of Heaven. Keen-eared Gao Ju of the Southern Gate of Heaven. The moment those names appeared, Su Ming was almost in disbelief. What's going on here? Judging from the trend just now, it was most likely going to be Juyan. And tonight wasn't about ferocious beasts. It was all kinds of demon immortals too. Then you tell me the ones awakened are the 2 mainstays of the Southern Gate. Something's fishy. There's definitely something off here. All the Waxia viewers were dumbfounded too. It's not just clairvoyant and keen-ear. The entire heavenly court has been exposed. You two, what are you getting involved for? Oh my god, when the roster was missing names, everyone thought clairvoyant and keen-ear were the strongest forces in the Celestial Palace, in a league of their own, because no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't summon them. Now was the time to seize the moment. But suddenly 2 showed up. No way, they're not right for this. So they were eliminated immediately. In Monkey King's memory, these 2 can't even touch a monkey hair. Their power is just not enough. Even people in the West couldn't help but laugh. Waxia has a lot of gods, but most aren't fighters. Many become gods just by mastering one skill. What is clairvoyant going to do in a fight? What are you staring at? Sakura-chan's crew are either mocking Waxia people or preparing to. They ran out of luck. Now it's our turn to fight back. The appearance of clairvoyant and keen-ear did put Su Ming at a disadvantage, but he was starting to figure things out. Then the 4th name appeared. Heavenly Dog, Howling Sky Dog. Even Howling Sky Dog showed up. The pattern is obvious.
It's him.
It's definitely him. I could guess this last name without even thinking. Alang Shen. If you want to step up, just do it directly, why bother? The more proactive you are, something just doesn't feel right. It's weird. About this Alang the Narrow Victory True Lord, people in Waxia don't know much about him. He only appeared in Monkey King's memories, where he fought back and forth with Monkey King. But that was when Monkey King was still inexperienced. So based on this, Alang Zhenjin isn't considered that strong. Sure enough, the big screen flickers a few times, and that familiar name pops up again. But this time, it's even longer. Kinglia Mayadao at Guanjiaku. Alang the Narrow Victory True Lord. Yang Jian's hints couldn't be more obvious. If Su Ming still isn't chosen now, it's unbearably bitter. If Yang Jian still isn't selected, then there's really nobody left to choose. It's unclear how strong Alang Zhenjin really is. But his connections are truly extensive. He took 4 spots by himself. Now no one can compete with him. I'm really curious how he did it. Wasn't it said only the saints can actually change the divine roster? The celestial court and all the palaces are here. Yang Jian bends over slightly, looking at an elder with a single flower in his hair, and respectfully says, "Thank you, Laojun, for making it possible. Now this is perfect. Everyone on the god roster is one of mine. If you still don't choose me, well, Tianjun, do you want to hit him?" Laojun squinted and smiled as he spoke. Yang Jian sensed that Laojun favored the summoner, so he immediately changed his tone. No, I'm Yunga, the Heavenly Court's war god. If a god doesn't go fight with Western gods, wouldn't that be way too disappointing? Speaking of the war god title, though he's not quite as good as Xingchen, he's still a proper Daluo Jingxian. It doesn't disgrace the Waxia gods at all. Gotta admit, there are quite a few saints in the celestial realm, but the only one who's really influential
It's probably Taishang Lo Jun.
upon the divine platform. There really are no other choices. Of course, Su Ming doesn't think. As long as the other side doesn't send out their best, the top spot is secure. This Yingjiang keeps coming up. And even after being picked 5 times, China never picks them. They're probably not a big shot. I just can't believe it. Huasha gods are all saints. As long as the other side doesn't send out a saint, we have nothing to fear, because word is out now. Yingjiang is about to send a god, who will completely upend everyone's understanding. Su Ming regains his composure, his gaze pious as he performs the summoning bow. Respectfully invite the true Lord King Yuan Mayadao to descend, to slay gods for Waxia. Outside the celestial gate, Yang Jian steps in holding his tri-pointed double-edged blade. But then suddenly, destiny appears behind him. Taisheng Laojun stroked his beard and sighed. Destruction leads to creation. Only then is the true path. I'm just afraid you don't have the Monkey King's fate. Yang Jian gets what he wished for. So his true form appears at the celestial gate. A pillar of light descends from above. Yang Jian steps into battle. That majestic voice echoes through the arena. But the other god hasn't arrived yet. So the gate isn't fully open. Within the glowing pillar, Yang Jian's divine form is projected. This is a Lang Zhenjin. Why does he look so different from the memories? He's so handsome, totally matches my image of a war god. Even the Westerners are captivated by the god on the screen. Maybe Monkey King's standards are just different from ours. So maybe that's why he subconsciously thinks his rival isn't handsome. The Yang Jian in those memories was only Monkey King's version. In everyone else's eyes, he wears a triple phoenix hat, a pale yellow scale armor, with golden embroidered dragon sleeves, and wields a tri-pointed double-edged blade. Even if his face is unclear, you can still imagine his grace and elegance. Yang Jian showed up in the divine halls many times, and everyone thought he was just a show-off eager for quick results. But now it seems he really just wants to fight for Waxia. That's true righteousness. What the heck? Why am I letting my sense of value be swayed by appearances? Come on, Sakura, hurry up and summon your god. Don't make my true lord wait for his appearance. Wait, no, it's narrow victory. Summoner Dam has already sent out the god roster. The ancient gods who've slept for countless ages. Please hear our call. Your people are facing an unprecedented crisis. We beg our Lord to show mercy. Wake from your slumber. Dam's prayer was like an ancient incantation. What is he trying to awaken? Sure enough, an extra sheet mysteriously appeared in the god roster that was sent out. At first, the little silver general didn't notice. But there sure are a lot more names. A lot of names that are hard to make out. Names waiting to awaken. Seems like these are the ancient gods from before Odin united the pantheon. They didn't die. They just chose to sleep. Oh my god. Am I dreaming right now? The old gods have awakened. Excitement sweeps through all of England. Originally, in the Western faction, their divine kingdom was the weakest. But if you count the old gods, they can definitely compete with the Eastern saints. I'm telling you, heaven is blessing England. Victory has always belonged to us. If the East can produce saints, we have the old gods reawakening. The morale in England soars. How can Waxia just stand by and watch? So what if you have old gods? Just being an ancient god doesn't mean you're stronger the longer you've lived. Saints are already the pinnacle of power. I bet your strongest old god still can't beat a saint. As if. You really think saints are invincible just because you boast about them? Soldiers and gods alike are legendary. But the awakening of old gods is real. Because right now, under Asgard's domain in the underworld, that ancient energy silent for so many years is raging again. Most of those fallen old gods possessed immortal bodies. After all these years of sleep, it's about time for a comeback. Odin, Lord of all gods, sits in Valhalla's temple. They've been suppressed for so long. But in the end, they're finally waking up. Odin paused for a moment. Then his gaze sparkled. It's good that they're awake, because the hatred for a child's killer has overshadowed old grudges. This could really strengthen the Western pantheon and crush the Eastern realm. It's happening! The first old god has awakened. Everyone in England is beyond excited. Since the Odin pantheon rose to prominence, almost everything about the old gods vanished. So much so that they only know the old gods existed, but not exactly who's who. The progenitor of the giants, Ymir. At first, Ymir thought it would be an unknown old god. But it looks like everyone in England has heard this name before. Now I remember. Before the world was formed, it was this mighty ancestor of giants who ruled most of the world. England was halfway through mentioning it, but cut themselves off for fear of divine retribution, and didn't dare to say more. Ymir is widely known as the Ice Giant. This is definitely a nuclear-level god. His era even predates Odin's. He's practically Odin's grandfather if you trace it back. The Sakuras would love to pray fervently. But here's the thing. The current king of the gods, Odin, killed Ymir. So the Sakuras are worried. He came with vengeance in his heart. But Dum revealed a fanatical expression. Just as expected, the ancestor of the giants has awakened. The ancient horn of the saviors resounded throughout the entire West. However, among the 4 newly awakened saviors, there appeared an existence capable of rivaling Ymir, the fire giant Surtur. Suddenly, the whole West was thrown into an uproar. Although I don't really follow Norse mythology, the name of the fire giant is legendary. That's an existence who can go head-to-head with Odin, an ice giant, and a fire giant. Even though the names might sound kind of lame, from what I know, their giant ancestors were all top-tier gods. There's another theory, that after Odin slew the ice giant, he used his head to make the sky, and his flesh to form the earth, bones to make mountains, teeth to make rocks, and his blood became the oceans. Strictly speaking, Ymir was actually the creator god and the opposite of ice is fire. Before the world existed, there were only 2 substances, ice and fire. Ymir and Surtur were both born from their collision. Hard to pick, both saviors seem equally strong. Probably not much weaker than Lord Odin. But after seeing the East chose Yang Jian, it actually seems easier to decide now. Just pick blindly, and it'll be fine. That Yang guy at best is on par with the Monkey King. Actually, that's even before the Monkey King's transformation. Any random god king could handle him easily, let alone an ancient old god. In Zhao Ying's opinion, if Thor, the god of thunder, is still alive, he could easily defeat a heavenly court general. Over in China, some are watching the show, while others are analyzing Su Ming's expression. Hold it together, stay calm. Summoner, I only trust you. As long as Su Ming's face remains calm, then this round should be fine. But Su Ming's gaze turned dark. Oh, true lord, why trouble yourself again? At this stage of the mythological arena, luck alone isn't enough anymore. Western gods can't directly change the godly roster and force their way in. But they definitely have ways to designate which gods awaken. In this regard, if no sage from the East intervenes, China is at a disadvantage. No doubt. Whether it's the ice giant or the fire giant, as creator-level saviors, they're both at the level of supreme gods. For a Lang Shen, this will probably be a tough battle. In the end, Zhao Ying gave up on the ice giant Ymir and chose the fire giant Surtur. As the arena turned into a sea of flames, the gates of heaven opened simultaneously in both east and west. Amid the cheers and shouts, a handsome face appeared within the pillar of light, eyes shrouded in gray, with golden light flickering. Wait, no, there are 3 eyes.